As soon as he woke up, this guy saw an egg floating right in front of him. Zio Lewin thought he must have stayed up too late playing games last night and was now hallucinating. However, the strange thing was that he also saw eggs on the heads of people around him, but their eggs were pure white while Zio Lewin's was pitch black. Even more terrifying, a series of numbers appeared on the egg as if counting down. It was unbelievable. If this turned out to be a dangerous toy, he was truly doomed. In class, his best friend suddenly invited Zio Lewin to hang out that night. He heard that Senior Yaotan had just found a giant egg and wanted to invite everyone to see it. Thinking this might be related to the black egg on his head, Zio Lewin nodded. Exactly 7 p.m., everyone was present at West City Park. The leader was Yaotan, the guy with the parted hair, who had invited them here. However, Zio Lewin suddenly realized that among the entire group, only Yaotan had no egg on his head. Before long, the group approached a wall. This wall had existed since Zio Lewin was born, enclosing the entire world. People rumored that if anyone could cross this wall, they would reach the outside world. Upon arrival, everyone urged Yaotan to quickly take out the big egg for them to see. But he said nothing, only flashed a sinister smile. Immediately, a red egg unexpectedly emerged from his head. Witnessing that horrifying scene, the whole group fled in terror. However, before Zio Lewin could run far, 2 grotesque hands grew out from behind Yaotan and grabbed him tightly. At that moment, the red egg on his head transformed into a monster. It opened its mouth wide, intending to swallow the black egg, but Zio Lewin's egg proved superior. Before long, the black egg quickly used an invisibility spell, causing the red egg to be heavily affected by illusions. Immediately after, a pair of sharp wings unexpectedly grew from both sides of the black egg. With just a few basic moves, the red egg was instantly destroyed. At the same time, Yaotan's body collapsed. It seemed that when the egg broke, the body also disintegrated. Zio Lewin was so lost in thought that he didn't notice what was behind him. From the fragments of the red egg, a seed slowly germinated. When the seed fell to the ground, a parasite broke through its shell and emerged. It stealthily crawled towards Yaotan's corpse, then quickly burrowed straight into his leg. Suddenly, Yaotan's motionless body began to convulse violently. Then, before Zio Lewin's unbelievably astonished eyes, the corpse stood up, staring at him with hateful eyes. Zio Lewin felt a chill down his spine, sweating profusely. He suddenly realized that after coming back to life, a keyhole-like opening had appeared on Yaotan's chest. Looking up, he discovered that the black egg on his head had also started counting down. He forced a smile, so shocked he almost fainted. There wasn't much time left anyway. He truly just wanted to give up and lie still. At this moment, dark clouds gathered in waves across the sky. Yaotan, emanating a fiery red aura, slowly approached. Your egg is pitch black. Unlike ours, you are definitely an anomaly. Zio Lewin slowly stepped backward. He was puzzled. Anomaly? What is an anomaly? Can't you say something I can understand? Yaotan's face suddenly darkened. He tilted his head and spoke slowly. Human, you must have realized that everyone around you has white eggs, right? They are food, and the red egg, I'm a red egg soldier. And you, the black egg, are an anomaly. Zio Lewin looked at the black egg above him, then at Yaotan standing in front of him. For a moment, he became confused. Red egg soldiers, anomalies. My head is spinning from hearing this. I don't even know why it's black. His skin suddenly turned pale. Yaotan bared his teeth in, a gruesome smile. Anomalies can be captured or hunted, but I prefer hunting. As soon as he finished speaking, he leaped up on the spot. Seeing this, Zio Lewin was startled for a moment. In the blink of an eye, Yaotan, with incredible speed, lunged towards him. Claws grew from his hands, and Yaotan swung his arm down forcefully. Caught off guard, Zio Lewin was scratched and bled by the sharp claws. Then he lost his balance and fell to the ground. At this moment, Zio Lewin reacted, looking up at the black egg above him in utter shock. Why isn't the black egg helping? He was startled. Not helping. Wasn't it super powerful just a moment ago? Seeing Zio Lewin frozen, Yaotan retracted his hand and gave a mocking smile. So you're relying on it? That's impossible. Zio Lewin turned to look at him, seemingly unable to believe what he had just heard. Yaotan sneered, revealing 2 fangs, and continued. When in independent egg form, we cannot attack humans. But as he said this, as if stimulated by something, Yaotan lunged forward once more, merging with a human. Seeing his figure darting towards him, Zio Lewin quickly leaned aside and jumped away. Where the claw struck, the ground emitted a white aura. Yaotan looked up, glaring. Head, Zio Lewin took advantage of his delayed reaction and fled headlong. What is this all about? There's no way I want to merge with an egg and turn into something so horrifying. But immediately after, Yaotan sprang up right behind him. Then he kicked Zio Lewin hard in the back. Caught off guard, he was kicked away and fell face down. Yaotan once again gained momentum, leaping off the ground. He quickly used his feet to pin Zio Lewin down on both sides, preventing him from getting up. His face gradually turned green. Yao Tian bared his teeth and smiled, raising his long claws. "Let me smash your head." Cold sweat ran down his cheeks. Zio Lewin turned his head back in fear. "I'm going to die." At this moment, a blurry vortex suddenly appeared in front of the two of them. Yao Tian suddenly froze, his entire body stiff. "How strange. Why can't I move anymore?" Zio Lewin also seemed to notice something unusual. He was momentarily startled. At that moment, Yao Tian's eyes gradually became lifeless. Seizing the opportunity, Zio Lewin sprang up and knocked him down. He couldn't help but wonder, what exactly was this guy trying to do? The vortex from the black egg gradually narrowed. Zio Lewin was no longer curious and fled headlong. "Never mind, just escape first, think later." He dashed through the sparse trees. Zio Lewin kept running, not daring to look back. After running for a long time, he gradually started to notice his surroundings. "How strange. I've been running for over half an hour. Why haven't I escaped this radiation zone yet? Could I be lost?" On a branch, a figure appeared and disappeared, leaping across. Below, Zio Lewin just kept running headlong. "Damn it, I don't know if that guy's chasing me, but I'm almost exhausted." Just then, someone was sitting on a branch, watching him from above. And Chai, floating in the air, couldn't hide his excitement. "Master, that guy's pitch black all over, and he even stopped the time of the engineer egg. It must be the world-destroying egg." Nam kept his eyes fixed, and hearing this, he reminded, "Don't jump to conclusions. Observe more first." A moment later, the forest was completely silent. Zio Lewin escaped the forest and ran straight to the cave. "Great, there's a cave ahead. Let's hide in there first, then figure things out later." Stepping inside, he leaned against the rock wall, panting. "I'm so tired I could die." Looking at the black egg floating in the air again, Zio Lewin couldn't help but be curious. "That's right, that guy couldn't move earlier because you helped me, didn't you?" At this moment, only a few minutes remained on the egg's timer. Zio Lewin was startled to notice. Wait, this time. He looked up, eyes wide, mouth agape in surprise. "Why are there only 3 minutes left?" "No way. There was clearly a lot more time before." Watching the time decrease, Zio Lewin quickly thought, "No, if it explodes like a bomb, wouldn't staying here be certain death?" Then he clung to the rock wall, followed it, turned around, and stepped out, telling himself, "I must leave this place quickly. Am I just panicking too much?" His whole body felt like it had lost all strength. But as soon as he turned around, Zio Lewin squatted down, making up his mind. Well, death is death no matter where it happens. He hung his head. At this moment, the surrounding time was counting down from 20 seconds. Taking a deep breath, Zio Lewin suddenly looked up and shouted loudly, "This is so annoying. Come on then, come." He said that, but he couldn't hide his anxiety, swallowing hard as he watched the time decrease from 4 to 1 second. Zio Lewin's gaze was fixed on the black egg. At this moment, the number on it, whoosh, suddenly turned to 0. Zio Lewin covered his face and turned away, shouting in fear, "I don't want to die yet." After hearing no movement, he curiously peeked out. He saw the black egg's wings fold, and something seemed to be appearing inside it. Black lightning bolts spread, and Zio Lewin lowered his hand in astonishment. A series of black light rays shot into the air. From inside the black egg, a key appeared. Seeing it, Zio Lewin couldn't help but gape. "So this is a key?" And the black egg flew lower, bringing the key in front of him. The key's body pointed forward. Zio Lewin still found it hard to believe. "Is it telling me to take it?" Thinking so, he cautiously reached out to take it. A small sound rang out. Zio Lewin had pulled the key out of the egg's body. At this moment, the numbers displaying the time on the egg began to move. Zio Lewin watched intently, momentarily surprised. He saw that on the black egg's body, the clock had returned to a full 24 hours. What's going on? Why did the time restart? At the same time, someone approached the cave entrance. This person was humming a song as they walked. Yao Tian's face darkened, yet his mouth still held a stiff smile. He continued to sing as he approached the cave entrance. In the distance, Nam and Chai were observing everything. Seeing this, Chai immediately asked, "This engineer egg is truly bold. He's already inside. Should we follow?" Nam immediately ordered, "Follow them, but absolutely do not let them discover our existence." Inside the cave, there was now a quiet stillness. Zio Lewin was still bewildered, asking himself, "What exactly is happening? Why did it restart again?" He didn't notice that Yao Tian had entered the cave. His eyes were wide, his mouth slightly smiling, letting out a sigh of admiration. As soon as he heard this sound, Zio Lewin was startled. Trembling, he turned around. "No, wait, why is he here?" Yao Tian slowly stepped out, lightly licking a bit of blood remaining on his fingernails. "Your blood smells really good." In his heart, Zio Lewin sighed helplessly. It was already complicated enough, and he still wants to interfere in this matter. Does he really have to kill me? As he thought of that, his eyes suddenly sparkled, looking at the black egg with a pitiful expression, pleading, "Black egg, please keep drawing. If you help me get out of this situation, I'll try my best to grant whatever you want." However, the black egg was silent at this moment, showing no movement at all. Suddenly, whoosh, with a sound, the entire black egg spun in midair, one side pointing towards the key in Xiao Luan's hand. The other side pointed to the black hole in Yao Tian's chest, who at this moment exclaimed in disbelief, "Huh, you're in egg form and you want to attack me, someone who is merged with a human?" As soon as he finished speaking, he impatiently swung his claws, tearing a path through the air. That's dreaming in broad daylight. Xiao Luan's eyes were wide open, completely unable to react in time. He thought to himself, "Black egg, you mean you want me to insert this key into the keyhole on his chest, right?" Only then did the black egg nod. Xiao Luan immediately gripped the key tightly in his hand. "Okay, I understand." Seeing him turn his head to look at him, Yao Tian spoke in a provocative tone again. "Since when did you have such a big key in your hand? Were you planning to use that cheap toy to attack me?" But instead, what Xiao Luan focused on was the keyhole on his chest. Then he took a run up and quickly ran forward. Yao Tian closed his eyes, letting out a breath. He spoke loudly, mockingly. The moment Xiao Luan thrust the key forward, Yao Tian tilted his body, easily dodging it. Then he swung his leg again, and with one kick sent Xiao Luan flying into a rock wall not far away. He frowned slightly in pain, feeling a bit awkward in his heart. This guy's movements are too fast. It's very difficult to get close. Yao Tian in front spread his arms triumphantly, smiling expression on his face, stepping closer. "I didn't expect you humans to be so foolish, using this slow thing to attack me. How could it even scratch me?" Xiao Luan pressed his lips together, a spark of determination igniting in his eyes again. "It seems he really hasn't noticed the keyhole on his body, so I still have a chance." Thinking so, he gently placed the key in his hand down. Xiao Luan stood up with effort. He then provoked his opponent. "This broken weapon is terrible to use. My fists are much more satisfying. Come here, you useless soldier." As soon as these words were spoken, Yao Tian seemed to be provoked. Useless. As soon as he finished speaking, he quickly lunged forward, gripping Xiao Luan's neck tightly. "Who are you calling useless?" After saying that, he even used his hand to scratch his face. Seizing this moment, Xiao Luan gripped the key tightly and shouted loudly again, "Black egg, throw rocks at him." Hearing this, Yao Tian was startled and turned his head to look. Xiao Luan held the key and plunged it straight into the hole on his chest. Yao Tian followed the movement and glanced down. Behind the rock wall, Nam, who was hiding and observing, was momentarily startled. "It's over." He saw a stream of green gas gradually spreading from the keyhole into the space. Xiao Luan's eyes widened in surprise. "What's going on?" Immediately after, the green light in his eyes was like a small drop of water falling to the ground. Xiao Luan's body was uncontrollably pulled in by a strong force. Waking up with a start, the scene before him had completely changed. He looked around and there were giant spheres and a strange black thing in front of him. Xiao Luan asked loudly, "What in the world is going on?" Just then, Nam rushed over from somewhere, grabbed his arm, and whispered a reminder. "Fool, don't speak so loudly. Hurry and hide." Xiao Luan turned back in surprise. He unconsciously ran after him. The two then hid behind a rock. Fan Lao walked over from afar, his voice echoing through the space. "Tinos, was there a sound just now?" Tinos nodded and replied. Nose also heard a very faint sound, like an insect. Xiao Luan's eyes widened in surprise, quickly covering his mouth. Watching the giant figures of Fan Lao and Tinos walk past, he thought in horror. Giants, what's happening? Just like that, the two silently watched the two figures gradually disappear. At this moment, Xiao Luan could finally lower his hand, letting out a breath. Harris. Terrifying. Where am I? Why did I suddenly appear here? Thinking this, he looked down at the key in his hand. Right, this key brought me here, didn't it? Black egg. He looked up and saw the black egg nodding in silent confirmation. Xiao Luan's face immediately turned pale. A helpless expression, signed to himself. "Oh my God, why can't I just live a normal, peaceful life? Do you really have to drag me to a strange place like this?" Nam next to him looked at him with suspicious eyes. Feeling that gaze, Xiao Luan was startled awake and quickly turned to look at him. Nam looked at him intently, thinking to himself, "This kid can space jump to the giant's world? I remember that person once brought me here too, but the memories from that time were very fragmented." He didn't pay attention to Xiao Luan and remained lost in thought. "But this place feels a bit familiar. If I'm not mistaken, this is where the giants gather." Xiao Luan pressed his lips tightly, finally whispering softly, "That Before he could finish, Nam interrupted in a low voice. Other matters later, let's get out of here first. Zayoluin quickly agreed. Okay. After agreeing, both quickly left their hiding spot. Nam went first, Zayoluin carefully followed behind him. As he ran, he took the opportunity to observe his surroundings. What exactly are those giant round spheres floating up there? Above their heads, countless pitch-black spheres with strange green light were hovering. Zayoluin thought to himself, the number isn't small at all. At one point, Nam suddenly raised his hand to signal a stop. At this moment, a sphere in the air was continuously drawing in streams of gathered energy. Zayoluin's eyes widened in surprise, muttering, something about to appear? Nam next to him didn't answer, but thought to himself, this human breeding sphere is about to reproduce. Just a second later, a slimy substance flowed down from that black hole. A strange shape appeared the moment the slime touched the ground. Hiding behind the rock, Zayoluin couldn't help but be curious. What is that? Before their eyes, a mermaid-like creature, completely green, crawled out. Zayoluin gasped in surprise. A faceless merman. Nam in front also widened his eyes in disbelief. Is it a human-beast hybrid? That's right, this place is full of giants now. There's no need to turn humans into giants anymore. Right behind them, a pair of giant eyes appeared, making the two of them freeze. From behind, Tenno slowly stepped out. His deep voice saying, found them, so it's two little bugs playing in the human breeding palace. Immediately after, it swung its sharp claws towards Zayoluin. Nam reacted in time, quickly pushing his head down. Then he took a run up and leaped up. It's like that, Nam charged straight towards Tenno's. His hand radiated a source of power. Green light, he swung his arm high. Nam swiftly waved his hand, and power shot out, striking Tenno's body. Then he didn't forget to look back, reminding Zayoluin, take care of yourself. Zayoluin regained his composure, springing to his feet. Got it, thanks. Then, seizing the opportunity, he turned and ran away. As he ran, Zayoluin looked around, thinking to himself, damn it, at a time like this I can't help at all. I can only run. Feng Zayoluin, you're truly useless. Suddenly, someone snapped their fingers. Something very fast shot past Zayoluin, severely injuring him. Immediately after, Zayoluin's body collapsed powerlessly to the ground. The black egg looked up, startled to see Fanla approaching. At this moment, the entire black egg was trembling continuously. In a daze, Zayoluin's body was submerged underwater. Around him, spiral lights flashed in waves, a call echoing from his body. Am I dead? How annoying. Will my life just end like this? I still haven't found my birth parents. I don't want to die yet. I also really want to be loved by my parents like everyone else. So at least let me know who they are before you take me away. Just then, an egg shot out from his body. In the distance, seeing this, Fanla's figure couldn't help but freeze. His entire body stiffened, thinking uncomfortably. This damned egg, why isn't my body obeying my control now? He saw the black egg continuously transferring energy into Zayoluin's unconscious body. A moment later, his body suddenly blurred and turned into a cloud of purple smoke. Instead, Fanla couldn't help but be slightly startled. It's gone. From the ground, covered in thick purple liquid, a small drop suddenly flew up, followed by streaks of black liquid being pulled along. And gradually they gathered into some kind of shape. In just a moment, a body had gradually formed. The egg had now turned white, hovering above a silver-haired person. At this moment, Zayoluin, in his transformed Onchamin state, had fully awakened. He glanced around, and a dense aura immediately radiated from his body. Seeing this, Fanla couldn't hide his astonishment and retracted his hand. What is this? A strange aura. No, the creatures here are extremely dangerous. I must escape quickly. At this moment, Zayoluin was taking steps closer to him. At the same time, Fanla was being held tightly to the ground by Tenno's claws. Feeling something, Zayoluin was startled and turned his head to look back. Then he turned around and quickly ran towards him. His feet pushed off the ground, taking a run up to jump. Zayoluin shot forward, continuously raining punches down on Tenno's face. Waves of power radiated out. Tenno's was repeatedly struck, unable to react in time. At the same time, Nam also sprang up, escaping its claws. Zayoluin, with his entire body radiating aura, kicked Tenno's hard in the face and then turned to retreat. He took another run up, leaping forward. Zayoluin's figure was swift, swinging his legs straight towards Tenno's. With just one kick, he was sent flying to the ground. At this moment, Nam was still intently watching Zayoluin. He turned around, reaching out to help him, looking at the hand still imbued with aura in front of him. Nam couldn't help but exclaim, "This continuously gushing source of power is truly terrifying." Immediately after, he grabbed Zayoluin's hand, using the momentum to spring to his feet. Thanks. At the same time, Tenno's in the distance began to stir. Above its head, 3 pitch-black spheres suddenly appeared. Those 3 spheres began to glow brightly. From within, green lightning bolts spread, connecting them into a triangular formation. Nam's eyes widened, his whole body jolted, and he quickly shouted, "This is bad, run." An extremely powerful surge of energy suddenly erupted. "Damn it! Die!" Tino's lowered its head, channeling all its power forward. But surprisingly, Xiaoluan stepped forward, blocking the attack with one hand. Tino's raised its head, exclaiming in disbelief, "What is this?" At this moment, Xiaoluan turned around, emitting a series of incomprehensible sounds from his mouth. As expected, both Chai and Nam were momentarily bewildered. Xiaoluan still bravely used one hand to block that terrifying surge of power. At this moment, Black Egg quickly came forward to translate. "He's saying, a peace for everyone. No one loses out." Seeing Nam still bewildered and not understanding anything, Xiaoluan opened his mouth again, trying to make sounds as if to explain further. "Black Egg, what's wrong with me?" Black Egg explained. "In combat mode, you are forbidden from making sounds." Xiaoluan cried out again, full of confusion. "Forbidden from making sounds? Why is that?" Behind them, and Chai flew back and forth, trying to explain. "One for each. No one owes anyone." Nam's eyes were wide, still watching. Nam was still trying to understand. As then, Black Egg suddenly reminded him, "Hurry up and urge him. Quickly unleash your strongest move." At this moment, Xiaoluan suddenly realized that. Then he turned back, his eyes highly focused, looking straight ahead. From his fingertips, a dense stream of aura began to emanate. Xiaoluan couldn't help but exclaim to himself, "Is this the strong move? How miraculous!" In my mind, the steps to unleash the move suddenly appeared. Watching him gradually operate it skillfully. Waves of green lightning enveloped that energy. Black Egg next to him cheered. "That's right. This is called greenstone energy." Xiaoluan thought to himself, "Please let it be devouring energy." A second later, a massive surge of energy shot out from his hand, devouring all of Tino's power. Caught off guard by the counterattack, Thanos couldn't react in time. Its whole body swayed, and the power intensified with each passing moment. Tino's eyes widened, and it collapsed directly to the ground. At this moment, Xiaoluan swung his hand, retracting the power he had just unleashed. Witnessing the scene, both Nam and Chai were simultaneously speechless. Then they both stared at each other with wide eyes, full of astonishment. Black Egg then reabsorbed the energy it had transferred into Xiaoluan's body. Gradually returning to normal, he regained his voice. "What's going on? I can talk again." Upon reawakening, Black Egg quickly regained its original color. It set its limit. Hearing this, Xiaoluan couldn't help but ask curiously, "You mean limit?" Right from afar, Fan Lai had secretly observed everything. These 2 bugs, each had an egg beside them. Could these be ancient egg relics? His gaze focused on Chai and Black Egg. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The more he thought, the more unwilling he became. Even Lord Ghosthouse couldn't revive these ancient ones. As relying on these 2 bugs, I must be overthinking it. At the same time, the eye in front of him suddenly emitted a faint lightning bolt, from which a soft voice was transmitted. "Colleagues, Lord Ghosthouse has brought that important figure to the Giants' flower garden through the bronze mirror. Giants nearby, prepare yourselves. Await orders." Feeling this, both Nam and Xiaoluan were startled and looked over. At this moment, Fan Lai slowly pressed a button on his side, thinking to himself, "Excellent. So Lord Ghosthouse has returned. Offering them to the Lord will surely be great. Let's decide that." Immediately after, a very piercing sound came from that button. Hearing this sound, both of them were simultaneously stunned. Seeing Fan Lai place his hand on the button on his side, Xiaoluan asked loudly, "Is this an alarm sound, or is he sending a signal to his accomplices?" At the same time, the ground beneath their feet began to ripple with liquid. Just a second later, a giant monster emerged from underground. Startled, Xiaoluan turned back, too shocked to speak. Beside him, Nam was equally terrified. From nowhere, a series of giant monsters simultaneously advanced, gradually surrounding the 2 of them. Xiaoluan's eyes widened, looking around bewildered, exclaiming, "What the hell is this? How can this happen?" Aura radiated from Nam's hand. Nam reminded in a low voice, "What are you still dazed about? Let's cooperate, quickly break through the encirclement, then we can talk." As soon as he finished speaking, he took a run up and leaped up. Xiaoluan stood still, watching Nam single-handedly deal with a series of monsters to break through the encirclement. He was so shocked his mouth hung open, secretly exclaiming, "So strong. It seems he can handle everything by himself, basically not needing my help at all." Thinking so, Xiaoluan quickly followed closely behind him. At this moment, a sharp cold claw swung towards them. While running, Xiaoluan was still able to nimbly dodge it. At the same time, a sharp tail lashed out. Zio Luen also easily sprang up and jumped over it, which made him wonder, what's going on? Running and dodging every attack. He couldn't help but marvel to himself. How miraculous, I can easily dodge the attacks of these monsters. Why are their movements so slow? Wapnam was attacking another monster. He also kept an eye on Zio Luen. Seeing him dodge easily, Chai exclaimed with a hint of surprise, Master, this kid's agility isn't bad at all. Nam continued to watch, then explained, It's not that his agility has improved, but rather that he has slowed down the attacks of those monsters. Now, I can be 100% sure that Black Egg is the egg of destruction mentioned in ancient texts. Hearing this, Chai seemed to have thought of something. So should we? The two continued to run side by side. Nam still didn't take his eyes off the other. He interrupted. No, we are currently in the world of giants. The situation is not stable at all. This is not the best time to seize its power. And Chai was a little confused and whispered again. But Master, if we can strip the Black Egg of its power sooner, we will leave here sooner, and then return to save Lady of Phai Shinichi sooner. Nam suddenly waved his hand, and a surge of power erupted. He snapped, speaking quickly, Focus on the current situation. And Chai quickly replied in fear. Yes, Zio Luen leaned back, skillfully dodging two incoming calls. He said with amusement, Black Egg, look, I can handle this easily too. Black Egg next to him quickly reminded, Zio Luen, speed up. That giant silver creature will be active in just 2 more minutes. As soon as he heard this, Zio Luen was startled for a moment. What? Black Egg in the air instructed again. Remember to get the desired item. Okay, hearing this, Zio Luen suddenly stopped, muttering with a doubtful expression. A desired item? That's right, the silver key. Black Egg continued. To go back, you must rely on the desired item. That, only then did he remember. I almost forgot. The silver key, he remembered earlier. The key was placed on the ground near Fanla. It was still there. Zio Luen was sure he wasn't wrong at all. It had fallen near the giant. Then he turned around and ran back. Seeing this, Nam didn't ask, only wondered to himself. Where's this kid running off to? The surrounding space suddenly became unusually quiet. Zio Luen dodged a series of monsters, and quickly ran towards the key. Indeed, it's here. At this moment, Fanla high above was looking down. Seeing this, Black Egg hurriedly urged, Zio Luen, hurry up! Zio Luen quickly bent down to pick up the key. And now, seeing the giant hand reaching out, Black Egg cried out in panic. Big trouble, Zio Luen. He wants to snatch it first. Hearing the sound, Zio Luen also turned his head in surprise to look. Just then, Fanla's fist slammed hard onto the ground. When he lifted his hand, the spot was empty. Only shattered rocks remained. Fanla's body trembled slightly and he froze. He thought angrily, What the hell? It was so hard to move. And now I'm frozen again? The dust gradually cleared, revealing Black Egg in the distance carrying Zio Luen. He opened his eyes wide, holding the key in his hand, panting continuously. I thought I was going to die like that. Thank you, Black Egg. Black Egg then moved slightly, then carried Zio Luen. Then it gently placed Zio Luen on the ground. Immediately after, Black Egg's entire body went limp. It fell powerlessly. Fortunately, Zio Luen reached out in time to catch it. He temporarily held the key in his mouth and checked on Black Egg himself. Black Egg, what's wrong with you? Can you hear me, Black Egg? A series of questions rang out, but Black Egg remained silent. Zio Luen then worried. Black Egg, don't scare me. Fanla now moved again. He swung his hand. His deep voice echoed. Indeed, it was because of this thing that I was frozen. The eyes in the center flashed with a cold light. Fanla growled. Without this thing to help, let's see where you'll run. Seeing this, Zio Luen carrying Black Egg turned and fled. He thought to himself, Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you. Not far away, Fanla easily picked him up off the ground with his hand. He said triumphantly, Look, we're able to bike hut. At this moment, a sound suddenly came from afar. It was Tino's running back. Seeing it, Fanla couldn't help but be delighted. Tino's, that's great. You're okay. Suddenly, Tino's took a run up and stomped hard on the ground. Fanla watched, a little startled. Tino's quickly approached and snatched Zio Luen. Watching it get further and further away, Fanla behind was stunned and quickly shouted, Tino's, wait, Tino's, what's wrong with you? Tino's. And Chai and Nam, though a little surprised, quickly responded. Okay, I understand. He jumped very high. Nam gently landed on Tino's back. Tino's just kept running straight ahead. Meanwhile, Fanla behind them was screaming until his throat was hoarse. Tino's. Suddenly his footsteps halted. Fanla bowed his head and thought, this small egg can control Tino's. If that's true, perhaps I can use its power to reclaim the giant shell from the insect emperor. This time, I will definitely receive praise from Lord Demon. Scene shifts to where Tino's is running. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fang Xiaoluan. What's your name? Are you from here? Nam introduced himself and Odyssey recounted. My name is Dong Nam. We came here through a space jump. At that time, I was in the cave. I entered because I discovered the abnormality of the soldier egg. His words startled him. Time jump. Could this be the power of that black egg? Suddenly, Mchai unexpectedly approached Xiaoluan. While he was still bewildered, it affirmed, "That's right, this is its power." Xiaoluan stared blankly at the black egg and the key. "So this key is what we use to go back, right?" Suddenly, Nam angrily shouted. Xiaoluan was startled and turned his head. Meanwhile, Mchai seemed unconcerned. A whip suddenly appeared from outside the black egg. The whip swung violently towards Mchai, leaving it no time to react. Seeing this, Nam immediately rushed forward. He instinctively embraced it to shield it. As soon as Xiaoluan saw the black egg move, he joyfully called out, "Black egg, you're awake." Nam didn't say much. He had already retreated. He softly scolded Mchai. "If I hadn't called out, would you have been so reckless? Are you hurt?" "Master, I'm fine. I apologize." Suddenly, Xiaoluan was startled to discover. How strange. There's a wall ahead, isn't there? Before them was a giant wall blocking their path. Since they couldn't go any further, all four had to get down and investigate. Xiaoluan touched the wall with a surprised expression. "It feels like a real wall. This feeling is strange. Could this be outside the wall? Is our original world right beyond this wall?" The black egg standing next to him suddenly trembled. When he noticed it, he couldn't help but worry. "Black egg, are you okay?" Black egg, aware of Xiaoluan's concern, quickly reassured him. "I'm fine. The gate has activated its protective shield for defense. I'm just a little tired, temporarily, unable to use my powers." Xiaoluan turned to look at the black egg in surprise. "Defense? Did that Mchai egg attack you?" Black egg replied with a hint of helplessness. "I'm not sure. It just activated on its own. But Xiaoluan, we can't trust others too much." After hearing this, he also felt it made sense. "I understand that point. Anyway, after that incident, I don't trust others anymore." Memories of Xiaoluan's childhood once again resurfaced. "I know for sure you people are fakes. You are not my parents. Go away." In his memory, those two people just looked at Xiaoluan and smiled eerily. Seeing him so lost in thought, Nam also turned to pay attention. He quickly spoke up to ask, "First, we can try to understand the current situation. What do you think?" Xiaoluan replied awkwardly, "Okay, you speak." After a moment of consideration, the two stood facing each other to talk. Nam was the first to speak. He said that when he inserted the key into the red egg's lock, he arrived here. That's right, the black egg must have used him as a medium for the door. This amount of information made Xiaoluan unconsciously clench his fists. The red egg is the medium for the door? He seriously affirmed. Yes, his absence here is the best proof. He then looked at the key in his hand in astonishment. So it was because of this key after all. Then Xiaoluan looked at the black egg suspiciously again. "Black egg, tell me, where exactly is this place? Is this place really outside the wall?" It suddenly moved a few times, startling him. Without a word, the black egg dropped straight to the ground. It used its wingtail to draw a few lines on the ground. Nam seriously paid attention to each movement. Xiaoluan also looked at it in astonishment. When it was done, the black egg finally opened its mouth to instruct. "It's drawn, we are here." What it drew was a map shaped like an egg. Xiaoluan became more and more confused. "I don't understand this at all. Are we in another egg-shaped world? Outside this wall is too bizarre." Even Nam was stunned for a moment by the sight. "We're not outside the wall, but inside." That left him speechless. The black egg on this side still explained diligently. "That's right. According to the diagram, we are still inside the wall. Look, this is where we are standing." Xiaoluan was startled, unable to believe it. "What, the place we are standing right now?" "It's just a tiny part, but it doesn't look spherical at all." Black Egg then pointed to the area above and began to explain. "That is the fifth visual field created from the human brain." Hearing that, Nam seemed to understand a little. More precisely, it's an illusion created by the wall. Xiaoluan still completely didn't understand what was happening. "The wall, it's the wall again." He slowly said, "Sometimes what you see with your eyes isn't necessarily the truth." Xiaoluan jumped up, immediately asking, Do you know anything about this wall? Nam honestly said, I only know that this wall is a living creature. And what's special is that it also has its own wall. After hearing that, he was stunned. A living creature? We are living inside a living creature? This is too bizarre. Nam, out of options, reminded him. I think you should ask the black egg. It might even know more than I do. But the black egg just shook its head helplessly. I don't know. My memory starts from the moment Zio, Nguyen, and I first met. Zio Lewin suggested, but you can draw maps. You must know something. Black egg could only explain. Regarding the map, it's because I discovered a singularity. Zio Lewin was bewildered after hearing that. Singularity? What is that? Nam interjected. A singularity is where time and space are distorted. Right? Black egg then approached the map and pointed. Before, we passed through two singularities. Through them, the two places were connected. That's how we suddenly appeared in this place. Zio Lewin hesitated to ask, so if we want to go back, do we have to go through these two singularities? Black egg frankly said no. Because these two singularities disappeared after I used them. Zio Lewin asked again, stunned. So how can we go back? Black egg quickly replied. Through the key, it remembered our original location. Just find the door hole created by the synchronization process, and you'll be able to go back. Hearing this, he suddenly remembered yesterday's events. The door hole, is it like the keyhole on the red egg soldier before? Black egg nodded in agreement. That's right. That was created to synchronize with this side. Zio Lewin's eyes widened in speculation. What about the door hole on the side? Could it be the place we were just brought to? Black egg replied helplessly. It was probably there originally. However, while trying to grasp the singularity, it was interfered with by an invisible force. That information startled him. Invisible force. Black egg flew up and recounted. I'm afraid this power will take us to another place. Fortunately, I managed to copy the coordinates to the key beforehand, but the door hole has been taken away by that kind of power. And Chai behind them was surprised. Taken away? Even Nam frowned tightly. Could it be caused by the demon spiders here? If it's true, then we're in big trouble. Zio Lewin squatted down and asked, Black egg, where was the door hole taken? It then pointed to a spa, in this exposed area. The more he listened, the less he understood. Why don't you say anything clearly? Suddenly, Nam came closer, pointing in a direction. Black egg, this spherical spa. Do you know where it is? He honestly replied, this appeared when that area was exposed. So I don't know either. Zio Lewin asked suspiciously, spherical? Looking closer, it was a circle. Nam suspiciously came up with an idea. Wait, appearing together means it can be found in the giant's world? Black egg, hearing that, immediately let out a loud hiss. That seems to have been revealed. And it can be found here. He was startled and panicked after hearing that. Nam's expression also affected Zio Lewin. Black egg, I can be sure this isn't their first time here. From his calm reaction along the way, I already felt something was wrong. Black egg suddenly suggested, I'll go ask him. Hearing that, Zio Lewin immediately panicked and stopped it. Don't. If he doesn't say it, it means he doesn't want to say it. Let's not make things difficult for ourselves. He must know quite a bit. If we can't find the key, he'll be our fallback. Therefore, we must always stay by their side. Don't let them out of sight. Black egg immediately nodded in compliance. Nam and Mchai on the side also had no less worries. Master, did we perhaps act too intimately just now? It seems it's better to stop asking about core issues for now. As soon as he finished thinking, Zio Lewin suddenly turned to them, flashing a friendly smile that startled both of them. He suggested, Black egg, that taken location. Can't the scope be narrowed down? Black egg quickly replied, it's okay. Actually, we can also use the key's vision sharing function. Zio Lewin hesitated to ask, the key's vision sharing function? Nam on this side was also startled and confused. He stood up, pointing at the key. Using this key, Black egg quickly confirmed. Because the key and the door hole are connected. The door hole can see everything through the key. And the key can also see. Zio Lewin immediately got to the main point. So how do we do it? The black egg didn't say much, taking the key. Give me the key. Black egg extended the key's plug towards Zio Lewin. Don't be afraid, just relax and then close your eyes. He obediently followed its instructions. Zio Lewin slowly closed his eyes tightly. Stream of power from the key. Twisted, the tip of the key pointing directly at his outlet. After a moment, Black egg slowly spoke. All right, now you can slowly open your eyes. Zio Lewin followed, slowly opening his eyes. When he looked closely again, he was stunned, his eyes wide. Inside, Zio Lewin saw a large spiral. The scene inside gradually changed. Is this the perspective of the door hole? Under this semicircular screen. It seems to be the city, right? After a moment of adjustment, Zio Lewin stared blankly at his tightly bound hands. Oh, 2 hands. This door hole is indeed placed on a person's body. Being locked up like this, could this be a prisoner being escorted? So who is escorting him? He looked up at the figure in front again. It must be that woman. She was sitting with an air of superiority. Suddenly, she turned her head towards Zio Lewin. Her hand gently performed a technique. His vision gradually became dizzy. It gradually narrowed its field of vision, and finally closed completely. The space was pitch black. Zio Lewin then suddenly opened his eyes wide. Was I it? Did she discover me? Black Egg, seeing his rich expression, couldn't help but wonder. Zio Lewin, what's wrong? He quickly recounted what had just happened. The door hole was struck down by a mysterious girl. I guess that girl is the one who took the energy, and it seems she even saw me. Black Egg slowly explained. If the door hole is attached to a living creature, then when sharing vision, the pupils will change slightly. Nam muttered to himself. Anyway, if this girl has the ability to take things, then it's entirely possible for her to discover us. Did you see everything clearly around you? Zio Lewin squatted down, drawing on the ground with his hand, as sitting under a transparent, circular white membrane. Like this, like this. After a moment of diligent effort, he reluctantly drew it. Then, judging by the scream, the person in the door hole was a woman. Moreover, her hands were tightly bound. And Chow was bewildered. Bound? So the identity of this door hole is a prisoner or something being escorted. He asked further, is there any other information? Zio Lewin heard that and continued to explain. The woman who just took the door hole was wearing a pure white outfit. She looked young. There were also 2 other people beside her. She looked young. There were also 2 other people beside her. It seemed to be in a cave, and looking at the semicircular screen sitting in front. You mean there are 2 figures dressed in full body suits on the ground here? Nam quickly inquired further. And the other 2, did you see their faces? How were they dressed? Zio Lewin looked up and replied. These 2 were clearly larger than the woman in white. One was wearing a hooded cloak, so I couldn't see their face. I wonder if they were giants? Black Egg suddenly held the key and approached. That's right, Zio Lewin. I forgot to mention that the numbers in this countdown are the time the key exists. He was bewildered, innocently wondering. Existence time. What does that mean? Black Egg had to explain. That is, when the time is reset to 0, the key will disappear. After hearing that, Zio Lewin realized the seriousness of the problem. What? Suddenly, Nam jumped up, signaling. Stop talking, there's movement. Both immediately ran back behind Tinnos. A shadow suddenly appeared from the cracks in the rocks. He quickly whispered a request. We must leave here quickly. While speaking, Nam suddenly paused. Behind Zio Lewin, a figure had appeared at some point. Nam immediately shouted, Zio Lewin, behind you. He immediately turned around in shock to see Magneto clinging tightly to him. Zio Lewin was quickly dragged straight to the ground by her. Seeing that, he rushed over. Zio Lewin. He gritted his teeth, wanting to remove whatever was wrapped around him. What is this thing wrapped around my waist? Is it a vine? I can't pull it off. Even Black Egg couldn't resist Magneto's string. Both were gradually being dragged towards the rock crevice by her. Damn it, let go. Sounds suddenly echoed from inside the rock crevice. Nam was startled and panicked when he heard them. A foot slowly stepped out from inside. The arrogant one stepped out from inside the rock crevice. Nam immediately got into a fighting stance. With just one hand, he easily captured Black Egg, and Magneto had tightly grabbed Black Egg and Zio Lewin. He proposed, lend me this black ancient egg relic for a moment. In return, I'll tell you where that city is. Zio Lewin was startled upon hearing those words. Ancient egg relic? Why did he call Black Egg that? Once again asked loudly. What do you say? Nam didn't answer, but questioned back. When did you start following us? The girl hugged Zio Lewin tightly, quickly replying. It all started when you played hide and seek with the Tinas in the land of flesh, but you were too slow. How long did it take you to find us? Nam was astonished, his eyes wide. What? It all started back then. He seemed to have lost patience. Growled, how annoying. I asked you, what do you say? Nam immediately retorted loudly. What do you mean, what do you say? You've already captured someone. Is that how you make a request? Magneto said sarcastically. Request? Do we need to request anything from you? We're giving you face, but you don't know how to appreciate it. Zio Lewin also paid attention to her words. Smirked. Arrogantly he decided. So you mean our negotiation has failed? Then I'll kill the masked man. You have no objections, do you? Owner of the relic egg. Zio Lewin was bewildered after hearing that. Wait, suddenly smirked with amusement. He lunged at Nam with terrifying speed, giving him no time to react. so fast struck a blow, but it just passed through Nam. When he felt nothing, he was surprised. What's going on? He passed through my body. He just went straight through Nam. Then he turned back towards him once more. To utilize his speed, he continuously attacked Nam from multiple directions. Meanwhile, Nam was still bewildered. What's happening? Why does he keep passing through me like this? It wasn't until he took a direct hit that Nam was stunned. What? It's not a shadow. Consecutive punches were thrown, leaving him no time to react. Damn it, this time it's a physical attack. Could it be that he intends to use clones to distract me, and then use his real body to attack? Alright, I figured out your trick. Now wait for my counterattack. Then, a figure suddenly appeared behind Nam, terrifying him. It was another clone of Nam disguised by Da. He smirked cunningly. So what you fear most is yourself without a mask? Nam was stunned, his eyes wide with horror. Nam was furious, dodging the approach. Damn it, you actually probed my inner thoughts. Stepped back, sneering. How ridiculous. This is the first time I've seen someone afraid of themselves without a mask. What the hell is this? As if poked in a sore spot. Nam was enraged, determined to go all out. Damn it. Both quickly plunged into a fierce battle. Benito, observing from the sidelines, also had to exclaim, is this guy creating explosions? By compressing air? Xiaoluan shouted a reminder. Southeast direction. Don't be fooled, that guy basically hasn't left at all. Indeed had been right beside him all this time. Nam immediately dealt with the person on the spot. What? Xiaoluan turned to and loudly reminded him. Southeast, he didn't act at all. The person you hit was an illusion. He immediately reasoned. If it's an illusion, then how could I punch him one by one? He was immediately surprised. Or are you simultaneously creating multiple real and illusory clones? Naturally, yes, that's right. It's always been one-on-one from the start, okay? Dealing with him only requires one clone. Xiaoluan paused, curled his lips, not shy about boasting. My ability, you see, allows me to freely swap between my true body and clones. I can swap entirely, or I can swap only a part of my body. The girl was startled to hear that and reproached him. Hey, why are you casually revealing your abilities? Xiaoluan was also dumbfounded. Swapping the entire body or a part of it, no wonder reality and illusion can continuously switch. But why did he tell me his abilities? He honestly replied, this is my sincerity. Xiaoluan frowned in thought. Sincerity? Did this guy decide on his own? Revealing his abilities also shows that he really wants Black Egg to retreat. Very quickly returned to the battle. Look, I've got him. On this side, Nam was not only caught but also beaten to a pulp. Turned to Xiaoluan with a serious face. Vitime? But from what I've observed throughout the journey, seems to have a different agenda than you. Although he didn't answer, doubts arose in his heart. Teammates, not exactly teammates. We just met. Although I don't know what his purpose is in approaching me. Xiaoluan looked at Nam again. But I'm relying on him to find a way out, so my intentions aren't exactly pure either. And we're just using each other, so why care too much, right, Black Egg? Black Egg quickly replied. My life also depends on Xiaoluan. It's also mutual exploitation, so I'll listen to you. Those honest words touched Xiaoluan. Black Egg, you've decided to take a gamble. Let's negotiate seriously again. Having achieved his goal, immediately ordered. Benito, let him go. She didn't seem to agree much, but he didn't hesitate and shouted loudly. Hurry up, finally. Despite her reluctance, Benito released Xiaoluan. Eagerly suggested, speak. Xiaoluan quickly made a request. Release Nam. He also happily agreed. That's easy. Xiaoluan frowned, adding seriously. Also, I want Dixon to lead us to that city. Those are the only two conditions. Paused at this. Dixon, Benito behind him, was displeased, shouting loudly. How dare you demand conditions from us? And you want Dixon to take your... Xiaoluan immediately retorted. He's emphasizing the two words negotiation. Tell me, what is negotiation? His words left her speechless. You also laughed heartily after hearing that. You're something else. Black Egg stood beside him, constantly panicking. Xiaoluan, what if he doesn't agree? Xiaoluan quickly reassured Black Egg as well as himself. He's so strong with him escorting us. Just a scare is enough. Moreover, he has already asked for our help, as long as the request isn't too unreasonable. The chances of him agreeing are still very high, so even if we're pretending, we have to pretend to be truly firm. He said nothing, striding closer to Xiaoluan. He lowered his head, looking directly into his eyes. Do you think I'll definitely agree just by looking into your eyes? Xiaoluan's gaze remained unwavering. This intrigued her, who curved the corner of his mouth. Finally, he reluctantly agreed for now. All right, but we'll have to see if it can do the tasks I assign well first. Those words made Black Egg break out in a cold sweat. What exactly do you want to do? He made his request with satisfaction. Very simple. Help me control the giant slayer. Zio Lun was stunned, asking back. What is that giant slayer? And I was just as startled as Zio Lun. Then he generously released Black Egg. Let's go and talk. As soon as Black Egg was released, it resentfully burrowed into Zio Lun's arms. Zio Lun also carefully picked up Black Egg, examining if the object restraining it could be removed. Replied indifferently, it's just for safety. Let's go. A cry also came from Nam. Zio Lun turned to look at him in surprise. He asked with concern, Nam, are you okay? He quickly stabilized his body. I'm fine, no need to hold me. Nam's words made Zio Lun, who was about to speak, hesitate. Zio Lun hesitantly instructed. I've agreed to help him, so we have to temporarily get along with him. But after what just happened, Nam was so angry he wanted to tear the opponent apart. Peaceful coexistence with that guy is absolutely impossible. Seeing this, Zio Lun could only give a helpless, bitter smile. It seems he's angry. It's best to say less. Don't make him angry. Quickly went ahead, leading the way. On this side, Zio Lun asked bewilderedly, Hey, wouldn't it be faster to ride on the giant monster? But he frankly stated, we don't need that. Zio Lun was bewildered, looking from the Black Egg. Is that so? Oh right, Black Egg. How much longer can you control this giant monster? Black Egg examined it for a while and then replied, Less than half an hour left. Zio Lun seemed to have his own thoughts. That's enough. Tinos, who was lying still, suddenly sprang up. It darted through the rock crevice and sped away, trying to run as far away from the giant beast as possible. The further from here, the better. Couldn't help but nod upon seeing this. Oh, this kid has some brains. The whole group quickly made it inside. Zio Lun suddenly spoke, breaking the atmosphere. Benito, earlier you said that faceless merman was your teammate? He was human before, she immediately growled, exasperated. Yes, when we came to rescue him, it was too late. He had already been put into the human breeding sphere. It's all that damn Nam's doing. He wanted to lure out. How hateful. Even he was so angry that his face turned green. That one-eyed monster. I'll chop it in half sooner or later. Zio Lun finally realized. So they came to this human breeding place to rescue a teammate. And then they found us. A button appeared on the rock face. Stepped forward and pressed the button with his hand. Immediately a secret door opened. Zio Lun looked down in surprise. The tunnel at the bottom of the cave. Zio Lun cautiously looked into the deep pit, but there were no stairs. Suddenly his hand was placed on Zio Lun's neck. Raise his leg and kick him in the back. He delivered a kick, easily sending Zio Lun flying down below, making him scream miserably. Seeing Zio Lun in danger, Black Egg quickly shouted, Zio Lun. Zio Lun was pushed into the bottomless space portal, and Black Egg didn't hesitate to rush after him. Stood there, watching silently and smiling. Without a second's hesitation, he lightly pushed off and also plunged straight into the space portal. Suddenly, Manito's group emerged from the shadows. Nam and Mcha looked at her with suspicion. Manito shrugged and said, Don't look at me like that. Do it yourself. Take this. She took a cocoon from her person. Her hand gently offered the cocoon to Nam. Nam took it, looking at it intently with suspicion. Is this a cocoon? Following his retreating back, Manito continued, Just stick it on your skin. I recommend sticking it on the back of your neck or using it on your back. Suddenly, Nam, holding the cocoon in his hand, was startled and turned to look towards the space portal. Seeing Nam in a daze, she stepped forward and spoke. I'll cover the rear. You go quickly. Returning to Zio Lun, he was still in freefall. He kept feeling something uncomfortable at the back of his neck. That's strange. Why is the back of my neck so itchy? He reached back to the nape of his neck and suddenly touched a strange cocoon. While he was wondering, had caught up from behind, grabbed Black Egg, ignoring its struggles. Zio Lun's face turned pale with surprise. Over these wings, seeing Zio Lun's bewildered expression, couldn't help but tease him. Don't be so foolish. Use your mind to control the butterfly wings at the back of your neck. Zio Lun regained his composure, still clutching the cocoon. You're the fool. You suddenly kick me and I don't understand anything, yet you tell me to control something called butterfly wings. He didn't bother arguing with Zio Lun anymore and quickly flew away. It's almost here. Good luck. Black Egg shouted loudly, Zio Lun. Zio Lun quickly cried out, Hey, wait. He clenched his fists, gritting his teeth and cursing silently to himself. This hateful guy, is this how you treat someone who asks for help? From a distance, Black Egg's voice transmitted. Zio Lun, quickly spread your wings like him. Zio Lun also wanted to try, but with the cocoon behind him. I want to, but he just said I have to use my mind to control this thing at the back of my neck. Seeing the ground below, Xiaoluan panicked. Oh no, I'm really about to hit the bottom. Xiaoluan's eyes were tightly shut and he was covered in a cold sweat. Hurry up, spread your wings for me. Black Egg anxiously struggled in his hand, crying loudly. Xiaoluan, the cocoon at the back of his neck, suddenly burst open, emitting a lot of black gas. As Xiaoluan's head was mere inches from the ground, the black gas suddenly split into two large streams, rising up to support him. Spread out from me. The ground suddenly cracked open. Xiaoluan flew into the air from behind him. Streams of energy gathered, forming wings, and Black Egg looked at the scene, question marks appearing above their heads. Bert evaluating Xiaoluan's wings. These butterfly wings have a delicate, soft structure. They are merely tools for flight and possess no power. His gaze flickered to the newly cracked ground. Over these cracks on the ground, could it be that this kid's butterfly wings have changed their properties? Xiaoluan excitedly admired his wings, looking left and then right. Oh, it's miraculous. I can really fly now. Suddenly felt a little interested. This kid's ability is quite interesting. Nam's voice came down from above Xiaoluan's head. Xiaoluan, are you alright? That guy loves to play dirty tricks. You have to be careful. Xiaoluan looked up at Nam. Luckily, at the last moment, these butterfly wings finally spread out. Black Egg was released and immediately rushed to Xiaoluan. Xiaoluan gave a cunning smile, his eyes darting at Nam. Playing dirty tricks. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Aren't you also probing his abilities? Otherwise, why would that Tina's be so weak that it was pinned to the ground after just a few blows? Hearing this, and Chai was the first to react. That's not true. If it weren't for the master being, Nam saw Chai about to blurt something out and quickly shouted. Chai, don't say another word. You can never communicate with someone like him. Showed no fear. Instead, he challenged. Does a loser at my hands have the right to speak to me? Nam gritted his teeth. You. If you're so good, fight me one more time. Didn't care, quickly turned and left. You calm down, Nam shouted from behind. You stop right there. Xiaoluan was speechless. My original owner was subjected to your dirty tricks, and I didn't even say anything. Yet you all are turning around and arguing loudly. Nam flew after him, and Chai beside him asked suspiciously, What's wrong with Master? He's completely unlike himself. Nam sighed, I'm sorry. After that guy saw through my inner thoughts. I just feel restless and annoyed. And Chai looked at Nam with worried eyes. Master, Nami assured him, Chai. Don't worry, I'll calm down. After flying for a while, they arrived at a colorful mountain gorge. Xiaoluan flew behind, looking around and asking, Where exactly is this place? It's a completely different scene now. But leading the way replied, This is Hak-Thurquat, one of the ancient egg ruins. After hearing that, Xiaoluan was surprised, as if he suddenly remembered something. Ancient egg Hak-Thurquat ruins. Oh right, he had previously called Black Egg an ancient egg rel. Why did he call it that? Turned around and calmly explained. Hundreds of years ago, this place was just like you are now. Everyone possessed an egg. However, someone later brought a calamity from the forbidden land of the egg world here, causing the eggs to gradually disappear. Finally, this place became desolate and deadly as it is now. Hearing this, Xiaoluan couldn't suppress his curiosity. The forbidden land disappeared. So, does that mean now no one has an egg anymore? Nodded, patiently explaining. That's right, they are almost extinct, which is why they are called ancient egg creatures. However, there is one special exception. That is the ancient egg relic called Kuan-Han Chai-Zak. Xiaoluan was astonished and blurted out to him. Is it the Kuan-Han Chai-Zak that you said you wanted Black Egg to control? What exactly are you planning to do? His eyebrows furrowed, and he nodded seriously. That's right, I want to control Kuan-Han Chai-Zak to find the poisoned flower of Hyan-Thur. Xiaoluan went from one surprise to another. What is the poisoned flower of Hyan-Thur now? She flew in front of Xiaoluan, impatiently saying, That is the antidote for the giantization condition. But it does Han and his mothers too well. Interrupted, shouting, Manito, shut up. As if understanding something, Xiaoluan thought to himself, His Han and his mother's Han have both been giantized? His eyes looked towards the gloved hand. No wonder he wore such a large glove. Xiaoluan's eyes were still fixed on that hand. His hands, proportionally, were not even a third of that one-eyed giant's. This giantizing substance must still be continuously eroding his body. He secretly speculated in his heart and told himself, It must be very painful. Sensing Xiaoluan's sympathetic gaze, he turned around. Spoke his voice firm. Listen, Xiaoluan, you don't need to worry about other things. has helped me find the poison flower of Donther. Hearing that, he cast aside all worries and asked, "Okay, by the way, you just said someone brought calamity from the forbidden land of the egg-shaped world. Did you already know this world was egg-shaped?" He turned around, slowly moving forward, and nodded. "Yes, I learned it from my mother. She called this egg-shaped world Known Sinman." "Known Sinman? What exactly is this egg-shaped world?" "Did your mother say anything else?" He shook his head indifferently, not wanting to say more. "That's all. On deeper topics, she remained silent." Xiaolun looked at his expression and didn't ask any further. And Chai walked beside Nam, transmitting a message to him. "Master, the forbidden zone that guy mentioned must be that circular central area, right?" Nam frowned, his expression a bit grim. "Probably. The fruit ghosts have always explored this central area. But there's absolutely no information." The deeper they went, the gloomier the mountain came. Unexpectedly, they now found it on Black Egg's map. It must be known that if the fruit ghosts found out, Black Egg and Xiaolun would likely become their targets. After a moment of silence, Xiaolun couldn't help but speak up. "Actually, I won't hide anything from you. We only have less than 21 hours left. Therefore, we must quickly find that city." He paused for a moment, then looked at Xiaolun with a reassuring gaze. "Don't worry, I know the fastest way to get there. And besides, what I'm doing won't waste too much time." With that, quickly flew away. "Let's go down. We're here." When Nam heard that, his eyes widened in surprise as soon as they landed. Beside him, Xiaolun was also slightly surprised. As soon as they landed, the wings automatically retracted. Xiaolun exclaimed, "These butterfly wings are really amazing. They can even retract on command." As he walked, Xiaolun looked around, then noticed. "Speaking of which, what is this thing wrapped in? A mass next to us?" Seeing Xiaolun's eyes fixed on the cocoon, she spoke. "These things are protective cocoons. If it weren't for me and being here, you would probably have become its food." Xiaolun didn't answer, but was surprised in his heart. So inside this cocoon is a living, man-eating monster? Xiaolun's footsteps stopped beside the cocoon. Watching it subtly twitch, Xiaolun thought to himself, "It's truly terrifying." Then they continued to go deeper. Leading the way, stopped and spoke. "They were here?" Nam and Xiaolun looked momentarily stunned. Head was a giant egg chained by 5 iron chains. "This is a giant shell, so much larger than their black egg?" Shook his head, raised his hand forward, and began to act. No, the eggshell was cut open, revealing a dark green egg inside. Everyone was startled, suddenly frozen in place. Without a word, he pointed inside, breaking the silence. "Kid, have you seen clearly?" and says it. "That is the true form." Their eyes were all fixed on the giant inside. Xiaolun used telepathy with Black Egg. "Although it's almost as big as you, Black Egg, but the blue light around it gives off a very dangerous feeling. Actually, it's been less than a day. Has it already formed so many layers of shell?" Xiaolun's eyes widened. "1 day. Speaking of which, how does it make people giantized?" She didn't answer, her steps heading towards the giant. Then she poked the body of the giant eggshell with her finger. "This is the place." Benito pointed towards them, then asked, "The giantization effect mainly lies in this 3rd layer. Did you notice the giant sphere in the sky above the land of the incubators?" As if realizing something, Xiaolun nodded in response. "I see it uses its shell to form a sphere, then proceeds with giantization." She nodded, her voice slightly hesitant. "That's right, this giant shell used that method to turn this world into its current bizarre state. After that, they implemented their hegemony." Hearing this, Xiaolun's heart was full of doubt. Stepped forward, using his gloved hand to pull out the giant. It was slowly and decisively pulled out by him. Grabbed the chain embedded in its back, then pulled it out. His eyes turned sharp, then he shouted, "The existence of this relic is a disaster." Sensing danger, it couldn't help but speak up. "You sticky brat, you heard your grandpa." Heard that, and without hesitation, spat back. "What grandpa? Giant, you're defying orders. How dare you talk to your grandpa like that? If you want to find the Donho of the poison tree, there's no way." He brought it in front of Black Egg, quickly controlled for me. Black Egg was about to say something when the giant interrupted. "Yeah, your grandpa still. Are there other after effects? Absurd." "Absurd? What's absurd about it?" The giant scoffed. "How ignorant. There are still remnants of deadly egg nectar in this air. If your grandpa hadn't created a protective shell inside there, you would have died long ago." Xiaolun caught the key point and immediately asked, "Deadly egg nectar, can you explain more clearly?" Without waiting for Black Egg to answer, explained. "It's a calamity brought from the Zama forbidden zone that I told you about before." From behind, she stepped forward and continued. "This egg nectar for eggs is a terrifying existence, but after absorption, it becomes a deadly poison. Later, this egg nectar seemed to react with the environment here. It could evolve into a microbial form. It continuously multiplied in the air. Finally, it caused mass egg deaths. Xiaoluan worried. What? Black Egg, do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? Black Egg shook its head, feeling no discomfort at all. On the contrary, I feel more comfortable living here. Seeing everyone staring at it, Black Egg immediately transmitted a message to Xiaoluan. A little Nguyen, did I say something wrong? Never mind them, it's best that you're okay. Xiaoluan turned to look at Nam, then at Black Egg. Nam and Chai, how about you two? Nam, who had been observing, shook his head. It's fine, as if guessing something. So that means, perhaps this is the difference between worlds. Nam didn't tell Xiaoluan the truth. Actually, no. At first, then Chai was brought to the old man's world and almost died from poisoning. Black Egg looked left and right, not knowing what to say, and remained silent. Both Nam and Chai simultaneously turned to look at Black Egg. This Black Egg can live freely under the deadly egg nectar. Is it because it has immunity, or is it also like the egg nectar from the central region? Nam's eyes were fixed on Black Egg and Xiaoluan. Therefore, it might not be affected by the calamity brought from there. The mysteries surrounding it truly keep piling up. Her voice rang out, interrupting Nam's thoughts. I'm very curious. Is it true that everyone in your world possesses an egg? Xiaoluan nodded. That's right, everyone has one. Seeing that no one was paying attention to him, immediately shouted, Stop being curious about this. And that, Black Egg quickly controlled a giant shell from me. A Black Egg shook its head, offering a suggestion. We have to wait a bit longer before Little Nguyen in battle form consumed a lot of energy. Therefore, to activate the Lian Tantach energy, it still needs a little more time. He gradually lost patience, furrowing his brows as he asked, When will it be ready? Give more specific time. Black Egg pondered for a moment and hesitantly replied, This egg nectar is nourishing my body. It will probably recover faster than expected. About 15 minutes should be enough. The giant in his hand trembled, refuting. You're lying. Don't lie to your grandpa anymore. How can egg nectar nourish you? Seeing it so agitated, Black Egg shook its head, mumbling, I'm not lying to you. The giant was angry, still disbelieving, and shouted, You are definitely lying. From behind, someone rushed over. Chuan is awake. His eyes widened, still not quite believing, and he asked again, Really, my mother is awake? The person nodded. That's right. Receiving confirmation, threw it towards the large eggshell. Take it back, she nodded. How strange. Quickly pushed past the two people then left. Watching his retreating figure, Xiaoluan turned around. Let's follow him too. After walking for a while, they arrived at a cave. Xiaoluan looked around the cave, frowning and thought, This place has too many turns. If we don't follow closely, it's easy to get lost. Speaking of which, where do all these paths lead? Austin thought. Xiaoluan suddenly realized. Someone has already left marks ahead. Everyone just follow his footsteps. I remember once mentioned that this is the Black Tree Pit, one of the ancient relics of the eggs. As soon as they stepped in, the last gate slowly opened. So, this is the central area of this relic. The Xiaoluan's eyes scanned around, then stopped at the carvings on the wall. He slowly walked, wanting to observe those images carefully. Xiaoluan suddenly discovered something in the statue's hand. Like the person in this mural is holding an egg, right? Are those small dots lined up inside the egg drawing humans? How strange. Wait a minute. He and Black Egg stopped, completely staring at the picture on the wall. Could it be that this is a miniature depiction of our egg-shaped world? Xiaoluan squinted, looking closer, then suddenly realized. So these small dots, could they be us? Impossible. Behind them, Nam and Chai had also realized it. And Chai used telepathy, only for the two of them to hear, then spoke. Master, before, we heard that as long as we find ghost fruit now. Zero, we can find the true exit of the egg of life, right? Now looking at this mural, could the position drawn on it be the true direction of the exit? Nam wondered, staring at the black dots on the egg. And Chai, if this is an egg rel, then it means this place is very likely a place of egg worship. If the true direction is already known, the exit must have been discovered long ago. And Chai frowned, sighed, her voice faltering. Compared to finding the exit, now I want to find a way to stop that guy from controlling the master. Hearing Chai say that, Nam also fell silent. After a pause, and Chai reminded Nam again. Master, we should still quickly absorb Black Egg's energy. Right now, I still have no way to use my abilities to support you. Nam replied, I know you're worried about me, but I'm really fine. That guy's reformed you. He threatened us, forcing us to find the doomsday egg for him, to absorb its energy. Nam still kept his eyes fixed on Xiaoluan's back in front. But I feel that this is not his true scheme. His true scheme is to use us to approach Xiaoluan and Black Egg. to lure them into helping him find the true exit of the Egg of Life. Namzai showed determination. Therefore, his real goal is to get out of the wall, to leave this bizarre egg-shaped world. And Chow was in mid-sentence when Zio Luen suddenly stopped ahead. So what should we do? Do we need to absorb? Hastily pulled back the curtain, unable to hide his joy. She, with a pale face and large feet, looked at him. Mother. The person lying on the bed was Chuen. This mother, she smiled. His face showing worry, hastily asked, Mother, you're finally awake. Do you know how long you've been asleep? Chuen nodded, her eyes looking behind her. When Nature said it's been over half a month. Knelt down by the edge of the bed. How do you feel now, Mother? Are your legs still swollen and painful? Chuen withdrew her gaze, looked at his smiling face, then replied, It's okay. It doesn't hurt much anymore. This made extremely excited. Mother, you won't have to endure this painful torment anymore. Very soon we will find the donho of the poison tree. Hearing these words, she was vaguely confused. Then Chuen noticed two other people behind Manito. Her voice was somewhat surprised, mixed with a hint of curiosity. These two are. Zio Luen friendly stepped forward, smiling. Hello, Andy. For some reason, when facing Zio Luen, Chuen stammered a bit. Hello, young man. Turned to look at Zio Luen, then asked, Mother, you're very surprised, aren't you? Suddenly, his hand grabbed Black Egg, brought it in front of her, happily saying, It's this one. This egg can help us find the donho of the poison tree. Chuen's eyes widened in astonishment. Black Egg was a bit awkward. Hello. In her mind, she suddenly remembered the image of her husband before he passed away. Wife, I've thought of a name for our child in your belly. It's to just call him Da. I'd say more after taking out the bone bridge. There's still a way to survive, right? Tell me, Azin with a weak breath reminded her. Wife, listen to me completely. The old Black Egg when it arrives. That will be the day your great calamity comes. At that time, you must avoid it. Having said that, he took his last breath. Chuen hugged his body, screaming. It doesn't matter when I die. I just need you to live now. Azin, don't leave me alone. She stared at Black Egg, thinking to herself. Azin, what was meant to come has finally arrived. It cannot be avoided. Black Egg was stared at so much that it broke out in a cold sweat. The old Black Egg, forecasting my great calamity is approaching. Her eyes remained fixed on Black Egg, not saying a word. Chuen was still immersed in her thoughts, although Azin's predictions were very accurate. But in many cases, the images and prophecies often have no inherent connection, which also means that the cause of my death may not necessarily be related to Black Egg. It's simply that those prophetic images happen to appear at the same time. Seeing his mother lost in thought, he called out worriedly. Mother, this voice brought Chuen back to reality, and she turned to look at him. Asked suspiciously, What's wrong, Mother? Chuen smiled reassuringly. I'm fine, son. Oh, that's right. You just said the Black Egg could help you find the donho of the poison tree, right? But most of the donho have already been destroyed by the giants. Moreover, the donho can even run away by itself. Hearing that, Zio Luen asked in surprise. Run away? Isn't donho a tree? She looked at him, nodding in confirmation. That's right, but it's different from ordinary trees. When in danger, it will automatically run away. It's not easy to catch it. Hasn't it become a spirit? He turned a confident smile on his face. Don't worry, I have my own way to lure it out. The giant shell can secrete a special substance called condensed egg. This can attract donho. Zio Luen seemed to have understood this intention. So you want Black Egg to control the giant shell to secrete condensed egg? But the giant world is so vast, secreting condensed egg might not necessarily make donho come. He put away his smile, his face serious as he replied. We have found several places where donho might be hiding. She glanced at Black Egg, thinking, so this kid has the ability to control. Perhaps it can really help neutralize the poison of the giant flower. Chuen's face softened as she looked at him. This boy, he was very clingy when he was little. I didn't expect him to be able to shoulder everything on his own now, although I may not be able to witness his future growth. But now the most important thing is to ensure his safety. Memories once again flooded her mind. For more than 10 years, we have always had to flee, fleeing from the pursuit of the crows. If it weren't for Azin's bone bridge protecting us two, mother and son, we would have been cut long ago. Back in reality, Chuen unconsciously touched the back of her neck. Before my dying day, the bone bridge must be handed over to Da. Behind her neck was a large scar hidden by her hair. But this thing erodes humanity. Without strong mental power, it's very difficult to control it. My current body is also experiencing a backlash. She didn't want to spoil his mood, so she thought to herself, and endure it. Moreover, if an antidote can be found now, for this hand to recover normally, that would naturally be good. Chuan's heart was still filled with endless worry. But what if they don't have good intentions, or if they are subordinates of the Crow family? Black Egg suddenly used telepathy with her. Are you afraid of me? Its voice echoed in her head, startling Chuan. Black Egg continued. You are indeed afraid of me. Is it because I look very ugly? She regained her composure, telepathically replying. Is that little Black Egg talking to me? It nodded. That's right. Something on you is forcibly establishing a connection with me. She was surprised, stating her guess. Something. Is it the bone bridge? Black Egg repeated Chuan's words, then said, called the bone bridge. Just now, it seemed to detect your emotional fluctuations. After that, it established a connection with me. From the moment you opened your mouth to answer me, we officially established a psychic exchange. Looking at her expression, Black Egg was certain. Are you feeling scared? Don't be scared, don't be scared, although I look all black. But I'm not a bad guy. Its words made her heart bloom. Immediately, Chuan reached out and hugged Black Egg. This sudden action surprised her. Chuan held it tightly, afraid that if she let go, Black Egg would disappear. I'm sorry. Through the bone bridge, I felt your true feelings. It's been so long since I felt such. A warm current flow into my heart, making me feel so at ease. Looked at this scene, calling out wordly. Mother. She didn't care, telepathically asking for a favor, then looked at them again. Little Black Egg, please help remove the poison of the giant transformation. Chuan looked towards Xiaoluan, smiling. Thank you all. In her arms, nodded confidently. Don't worry, if Xiaoluan has agreed to this request. You don't need to ask, we will do our best. Chuan replied, thank you. Receiving its help, Chuan said, Little Black Egg, next I want to talk to just the two of you. She looked at its solemn expression and sighed. Some secrets about the egg-shaped world that my husband knew when he was alive. Having said that, Chuan looked at it. He seemed to understand and went outside and closed the door. The girl had just returned from a mission and saw the Nam and Chai standing outside. Why are you all out here? Hasn't Chuan woken up yet? His hand clenched into a fist, his face darkened. Mother wants to talk to that kid alone. Manito was slightly startled, thinking to herself. This tone, 9 times out of 10, he's already reached the point of anger, hasn't he? Not wanting to get involved in this anger, she quickly made an excuse to leave. I remember there are still some things I haven't dealt with yet. After only a few steps, she was called back by this growl. Practice with me. Ignoring his words, she quickly ran away in a panic. Excuse me, this face dark and looking at Nam. Hey, you defeated General. Didn't you say you wanted to fight another round before? Do you want to fight now? He didn't know what was going on, but since he was challenged, he'd fight. Come on. A moment later, Black Egg came out from behind the curtain. It turns out that Black Crow was the first group of humans thrown into this egg-shaped world, and the one pulling their strings was another mysterious figure. What the hell is this? As he walked, Xiaoluan was lost in his own thoughts. Is this guy using the life of him in the egg-shaped world to cultivate food? Thinking of something, his steps unconsciously halted. Food. Could it be that we are the food? That's right, it's eggs. I remember the red egg soldiers once said white eggs are food. Ao Tan's face involuntarily appeared in Xiaoluan's mind. Human, you must have realized that everyone around you is a white egg, right? They are food, and red eggs are red egg soldiers. You, Black Egg, are the alien worm. He immediately understood, so that's what it meant. A piercing sound suddenly interrupted Xiaoluan's thoughts. Looking back, he saw Dong Nam approaching. Xiaoluan looked at them, asking suspiciously. By the way, where did you guys go just now? He replied, just wasting time casually. But suddenly he noticed the bruise on his face. Dong Nam quickly turned his face away, not wanting him to see. Xiaoluan, sharp-eyed, stepped forward and asked him, Dong Nam, why does your face look more swollen? He evaded. No, it's just your imagination. By the way, the backpack on your chest. Xiaoluan replied. Aunt Chuan gave it to me to hold keys. Seeing him about to leave, he quickly spoke up. That's right. Don't go. Aunt Chuan said she wanted you to come in for a moment. He didn't even turn his head, his steps still firm and clear. No need. It's time for us to depart. Looking at his retreating figure, Xiaoluan couldn't help it. Don't leave yet. Aunt Chuan definitely has something very important to tell you. Turned back, his face still sullen with anger. Huh? Something important? Haven't all the important things been told to an outsider like you already? What else is there to say? As soon as he heard his voice, Xiaoluan immediately realized. What is this guy sulking about? Black Egg and I both heard it. Aunt Chuan sought us out to talk privately. It's all because she's worried about you. This idiot turned his head, a slight, sarcastic smirk on his lips. You, Xiaoluan, why don't you just become her son then? After all, her biological son is just an outsider. He clenched his fist, muttering. Really? He said loudly. Can't hear anything. Speak louder. I can't hold back anymore. Zaioluan shouted angrily. I'm talking about you, you idiot. You little brat. What kind of attitude is that? Is it so great to have a loving mother? What's with the ack? Heard the words idiot and little brat and felt as if he had been stabbed in the heart. Long Nam and Umchai stood there, their faces full of awkwardness. He let out a shout and immediately lunged at him. You, Zaioluan, dare to call me a little brat? Do you want to die? He calmly waved his hand, seemingly gentle, but it had pushed his hand away. What's wrong with this, Zaioluan? He could easily push my hand away. Intently observed the power gathered in his palm. Strange. The energy emanating from his hand is twice as high as when he transformed. Could it be that emotional fluctuations have amplified this energy flow? Zaioluan's angry shout rang out. Someone who only makes his mother worry. Crying, if not a little brat, then what is he? He heard retorting disdainfully. I can make my mother worry. I'm so strong. How can I make my mother worry? And crying, my mother is the strongest. She never cries in front of others. What the hell are you talking about? He chuckled softly, his eyes and smile exuding a coldness. Is that so? Did she cry or not? Then wouldn't you know if you went in and saw for yourself? As soon as he heard that, he immediately rushed towards her room. Wait a minute, then I'll deal with you. Black Egg asked, puzzled. Zaioluan, what was that energy you released just now? Looking at his hand. Zaioluan replied telepathically. When I was little, I had a very strange period. My strength was much greater than other children. But after I discovered that my foster parents were old, this strange strength naturally disappeared and only reappeared just now. He giggled, praising as it laughed. Zaioluan, so you were that powerful when you were little? Zaioluan frowned, a hint of discomfort in his eyes. In the human world, being too powerful can kill people. It's better to be a little foolish to reduce aggression. Hearing that, Black Egg was puzzled, its head full of question marks. As soon as he entered, quickly called out, Mom, why are you so flustered? Seeing her lying there peacefully, he frowned slightly. Sure enough, that kid tricked me. She looked at up, her eyes full of love and tenderness. Are you still angry with me? He shook his head. No, I'm not. Hank Shuan said gently. Do you remember that day? You were also angry with me and ran out by yourself. I didn't know you were preparing a birthday gift for me. His eyes widened, childhood memories flooding back. When he was little, he once ran off in anger to search. Mom is such an idiot. Couldn't she have waited a little longer? I've been secretly preparing this gift for over half a month. I can't just leave it behind. As he walked, he suddenly heard a loud shout behind him. Where are you taking me? We didn't do anything. The scared child cried out. Mom, they said. Don't be afraid. It's just a routine check. If you cooperate, you'll get 1 coin. The subordinate next to him saw his leader in a daze. What's wrong? He quickly chased after that little brat somewhat resembles Lord Crow's description. I'll go confirm. When he reached the turn, he quickly turned into it. Had long sensed someone chasing him. He smirked. Want to chase me? Let's see if you have the guts. He hid in a corner, and seeing had gone quite far, he followed. As he rushed, a figure flashed past like lightning. Hank Shuan's hair pierced through his heart. She maintained her speed, turning her head back to check. Seeing him fall to the ground, Hank Shuan left. She hurried. Chasing, Hank Shuan shouted, Stop messing around. They've caught up. We have to go quickly, he replied. I'm just getting something. It'll be quick. At my secret base. Hearing this, she paused, slightly suspicious. Secret base. Not noticing behind her. Blood from where Hank Shuan had stabbed was splattered. In an instant, a small sprout emerged. Led her to a gloomy cave. Unexpectedly, beneath this small cave was such a sight. Is this the secret base spoke of? He nodded. Well, I followed a rabbit and found this place. Watching mysteriously go to retrieve something. Were you hiding here? He didn't hide his vexation, replying. I know we're about to leave here, but I've been preparing this gift for a long time. His small hand took out a porous stone from that scaled pouch. Hank Shuan's eyes widened, staring at it. The entire cave suddenly lit up, making her exclaim. So beautiful. You put luminous stones inside, didn't you? He had also placed luminous stones inside that rock. Blushed, awkwardly turning away, stammering. I was supposed to show it to you in 2 days. Hank Shuan moved to hug him tightly, saying, Thank you, I love this gift very much. His gaze suddenly fell behind her hair. Mom, there's something in your hair. On the strand of hair there was still a trace of blood. Hank Shuan picked up the strand of hair, her expression darkening. Oh no, our whereabouts might have been discovered. He was puzzled. It's just moving blood. Without hesitation, she pulled it off with her hand. I heard that this new ghost family has very powerful tracking techniques. It's possible they're using blood to track our location. Let's go quickly. Happily reached out his hand, suggesting, Mom, give me that blood-stained strand of hair. This cave is complex. I'm not sure they can find us through this. Hearing this, she was a little doubtful, but still gave it to him. Urgent footsteps echoed in the silent forest. A snap of fingers rang out. The whole group immediately stopped. Anna looked at the small tree in his hand, saying, Here, young hack sitting on Ndung's back asked him, Master, where exactly is this place? Anna pointed downwards, replying, Below right beneath our feet. He immediately understood. Oh, so that's it. Young hack jumped down and saw a small cave on the ground. So this place hid a small cave. True Tri looked at Dana, respectfully asking, Lord Ghost Crow, do you want this humble one to punch a large hole or directly collapse this place so they die inside? He calmly replied, No need, I want to capture them alive. Looking down at the small cave, Dana immediately followed the muse. He'd be able to counter-kill the previous Ghost Crow. It seems he is more suited for this frost orb than Azian. Interesting. Then a dangerous smile appeared on his face. Let me show you, sister-in-law. Half an hour later, Vuong Hak was still chasing Da. Kid, I don't have time to play hide-and-seek with you. He provocatively said, It's not certain who's playing with whom. Reached out his hand, gathering strength. Then suddenly shot 2 beams of light towards Vuong Hak. But surprisingly, he managed to dodge them. Witnessing the 2 beams of light embed themselves into the branch behind, Vuong Hak sneered, Hey, not bad at all. Kid, but before could react, he quickly jumped behind the boy. And then Vuong Hak held tightly. This skill is indeed a cut above the rest. However, in the very next second, a smile appeared on his face. Really? Vuong Hak was suddenly astonished to realize that what he had just caught was merely an illusion. Yes, brother, are you having fun? Looking at the empty space in front of him, he was furious. Damn it, I've been tricked. Looking back, Vuong Hak suddenly wondered, I wonder if Master's side is also a clone? Hank Shuan asked while running, How are your clones doing? He replied, One of them has been tricked. The other one is very cunning and didn't follow, but it's okay. We still have 2 other clones behind us. If he chases, he'll definitely find out soon. She asked worriedly, Don't push yourself too hard. I'm not weak either. Alden replied, I know. You're very powerful, but my new skill isn't weak either. Suddenly, a strange sound made Hank Shuan stop. She immediately looked up with a wary gaze. Dana had jumped up, avoiding her attack. Hank Shuan looked up cautiously, saying, Don't hide anymore, come out. I was startled and bewildered. How can this be? He escaped from my clone above and chased all the way here? Dana landed, then began to bow. Sister-in-law, this is our first meeting. Hello, I am Dana, the one brother Chuan once took care of. And also Ghost Crow now. 16, the new manager of the giant world. Hank Chuan immediately waved her hand in denial. I don't know you, stop calling me sister-in-law, sister-in-law. You go up first, just leave this place to me. He slowly walked closer, feigning relaxed demeanor. No need to go anywhere, no need to go anywhere. I came here to discuss peace. Hank Chuan blocked us, shouting, Discuss peace, don't trick people anymore. However, ran up from behind. Mom. She turned around, her face full of urgency. Why haven't you left yet? Hurry up and go. Hearing this, he immediately turned and ran away. I know. Kept recalling Hank Chuan's advice. I'm very strong. I've never lost to anyone. So you must listen to me. When I fight, you can't be there. You can't become my weakness. At that time, he firmly asserted, Don't worry, Mom, I will never become your weakness. Meanwhile, pulled himself. Mom, I will not become your weakness. Dana still slowly approached. Sister-in-law, please listen to me first. But she just coldly shouted, Stop talking nonsense. As soon as she finished speaking, her hair attacked him, but he dodged it. Hank Shuan immediately got angry. Let's see where else you can dodge. Her hair relentlessly attacked him. While blocking the attacks, Dana exclaimed, His combat power is indeed extraordinary. But I'm afraid I have to extinguish your hopes. A few drops of blood flowed from his finger. Then came a surprise attack, pushing Hank Chuan into the wall behind. He sat huddled in a corner, holding his head, trembling. Well, Mom is the strongest. Mom will win. Mom is the strongest. The strongest. Suddenly, footsteps echoed, startling him. Quickly adopted a cautious stance. Who's there? Hank Chuan emerged from behind the rock wall, covered in injuries. It's Mom. Seeing it was her. He happily ran over. Mom, you won the fight. Hank Chuan smiled, batting his head. You won the fight. However, quickly noticed her injuries and immediately became worried. Mom, your leg is injured. She gently comforted him. Son, I'm fine. He worriedly argued, "What do you mean you're fine?" Hank Shuin continued to comfort him. "I know you care about me, but I'm really fine." Looked up at her, tears streaming down. "Mom, I will become strong in the future. Very, very strong. So from now on, when you fight, don't make me leave anymore, okay?" Hank Shuin bent down, gently wiping away the tears on the boy's cheeks. "Wait until you're grown up and can defeat me. Then I won't make you leave anymore, okay?" Immediately nodded vigorously. Immediately after turned his back. "I'll carry you on my back." Hank Shuin burst out laughing. "You silly child, you're still so small. How can you carry me?" He stubbornly and resolutely replied. She smiled gently. "When I'm old, then you'll carry me to travel everywhere. Go here and there, eat all sorts of delicious and exotic foods. What do you think?" His face immediately brightened. "Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun." "It's a promise." The mother and son held hands and walked away. They walked and chatted happily. "What do you want to eat most right now? Let me plan it for you." "You silly child, there's still a long time until you grow up. Let's think about it slowly, plan it slowly. But I want to know now. Tell me, Mom." All right, my little darling." Hank Shuin lay on the bed looking at them, then spoke seriously. "I know it hasn't been easy for us to get to where we are today. I also understand that you hate the ghost crows very much. You can never accept that your father was a ghost crow." He helplessly interrupted her. "Mom, if you want to mention that person, then don't." Seeing about to leave, Hank Shuin quickly said, "Then neither I nor you in my womb would have survived. I never told you because you were too young then, afraid you would ask too many questions, and then get involved." Returned sharply, then angrily asked, "Haven't we already been involved for a long time? Otherwise, we wouldn't have been hunted for over 10 years. At this moment, she took out a small box-shaped object, then stated, "Outwardly, it was to retrieve the door behind me, but in reality, it's for this." I asked in astonishment, "What's inside?" Hank Shuin explained, "Formed from immortalized sugar matter." As if guessing what wanted to ask, she continued, "Could it be?" She immediately replied, "That's right. Inside is the extremely rare vitality candy taken from the life nucleus egg in the central area." Reaching out to take the object, he asked, "You're stronger than me now. Your father's belongings will now be protected by you. Only things from the central area can resist him." With a serious tone, Hank Shuin continued, "The path to becoming strong is perhaps the only way for us. No, it is the only way for you to escape this fate." Hearing this, was momentarily stunned. Hank Shuin sighed, slowly explaining, "I also tried to hand this over, to exchange for a lifetime of peace for you, without getting involved. But the truth is, the hidden struggle among the ghost crows has already pushed us into the forefront." Looking at Hank Shuin's eyes became sharp. "We have no other choice. We can only continue to fight and then become stronger." Even stronger, looked at the object in his hand, clutching it tightly. After that, he put it into the pouch at his side and walked out. Hank Shuin spoke to Tu Luen and Dong Nam. "It's not early anymore. Let's quickly go find Don Ho." His eyes became sharp, with a confident tone. Tu Luen looked at him, smiling. This kid has finally recovered his spirit. For the next hour, they went to 3 different locations to search for the Don Ho of the poison tree, but still couldn't find any trace of it. Tu Luen examined the giant egg, whispering, "Do you guys really not smell anything? If the giants follow the scent and find us, we'll be in big trouble." Replied, "How could those guys smell anything?" When we returned and were about to go to the 4th location, we discovered a giant rock showing signs of movement. Reached inside, then pulled out a blue branch. Tu Luen looked at this branch in astonishment. "Is this a flower?" Also looked at it in surprise. "No, it hasn't bloomed yet." "Damn it, if there isn't even a flower bud, then it will take at least another half a year for Don Hoa to grow." He immediately worried. "Then we can only wait. Let's cultivate it first." He frowned. "Mom's leg has been severely corroded. We can't wait any longer." Suddenly, the rock began to shake. Before they could even react, something suddenly shot up from beneath the rock. Rushed to Dakta, quickly leaped up, dodging the giant hand that suddenly reached out. As he retreated, suddenly recognized the familiar figure. Wang He was sitting proudly on Fanla's hand. He looked at the group, his tone full of sarcasm. Not bad at all, Fanla. You chose a flowerless poison tree as bait. It was indeed a very suitable choice." He humbly replied, "You are still the most formidable, able to distinguish the scent of the condensation egg. Then, based on that strong scent, you could deduce where they wanted to go. Thanks to that, you were able to set a trap beforehand." Wang He replied, "Failed to find the flower several times, but still didn't get discouraged." Glared at them angrily. Wang He sneered contemptuously. "Long time no see, you're still as arrogant as ever." Suddenly remembered recognizing him. "You're that idiot." At that moment, Fanla heard this and became furious. You worm, how dare you be so disrespectful to Lord Ghost Crow? Looked at Wanky, sneering mockingly. What, this idiot became a ghost crow? Anyone can eat a ghost crow? No wonder all ghost crows are so terrible. It's like your master. Didn't he eventually die at my mother's hands? Wanky calmly replied, my master's life is very important. At this mobile blood bank. How could he die so easily? You guys are truly formidable. Thanks to your mother's favor, we were demoted, coming useless in the eyes of other ghost crows. But then a murderous aura suddenly surged from Wangy. Now we are back, and we will use you to sharpen our blades first, cautiously ordered. You take the poison tree, I will hold them off. After that, you and Dong Nam leave here first. He frowned, ignored Tu Luan's protest. He shoved the branch into his hand. Stop talking nonsense, take it. Dong Nam also looked at him, advising. This guy's being too stubborn. Turned to him. Cannot hold off a strong opponent. Dong Nam was immediately stunned. Let me hold them off. Wanky smiled cunningly. You want to let two of me the next leave here. It won't be that easy. You have to get past us first. Suddenly, other giant figures surrounded them. Oh, right, as for my master. I think he's probably on his way to your mother now, isn't he? Then, it will definitely be quite a meeting. He looked up in shock, his face clearly showing worry. What did you just say? Wanky calmly said, don't you know, his master is really looking forward to seeing your long-lost mother again. Quickly denied. He wants to find my mother. It won't be that he HFH. Don't tell me about blood tracking abilities. But he said, blood tracking is just a minor thing. The important thing is that the Lord is with my master. His abilities are not something ordinary people like us can imagine. Speculation arose in Tu Luan's mind. The Lord he mentioned, could it be the one Angshuin talked about? He immediately said to Da, oh no, Da, we have to go back quickly. This time we'll hold them off for you. Although he didn't want to, he could only comply. Damn it. All right then, quickly. The three of them found a way to leave. Meanwhile, subtly signaled Tu Luan and Dong Nam. They understood his intention. Exchanging glances silently, charged forward, attracting all the attention of Fanla and Wangy. Two streams of blue light appeared on Dong Nam's hands. Then he attacked directly into Fanla's line of sight. Hello, after handing the branch to Black Egg. Tu Luan approached, tightly hugging the giant's leg, clutching tightly. Next, he sent electricity into it, causing Fanla to collapse. He roared angrily. Where is the Lord? One guy tried to rush and attack him. Tu Luan immediately used his control ability on him, then ordered. That guy left, he turned to ask Black Egg. Black Egg, if I adjust the control duration to 5 minutes, how many more can I control? It hastily replied, I can control 3 more. As he ran to another spot, Tu Luan asked, either way, now that we've controlled the poison tree, why can't we make it bloom immediately? Black Egg replied. Suddenly, 3 other guys rushed in, intending to attack him. K3 also charged forward simultaneously. To crush Tu Luan and Black Egg, worriedly turned his head to look back. When he rushed forward, ready to attack him. Hit, do you see it clearly now? He's our real target. Dodged, but his heart was still full of questions. While preparing for the next attack, he explained, I accidentally discovered an image drawn on the ground. On that drawing, the central area of the Egg of Life was marked. Punched his fist, suddenly understanding. So that's why. Looking at his clones, when he exclaimed, the location of this area, even the Lord didn't know. I never thought I'd discover this top secret intelligence. So kid, don't get in my way. Even a clone to hold off Wangy. He ran to help Tu Luan. Sorry, but I like getting in your way. Wangy didn't rush to stop him, but calmly asked, oh, a 5th clone? So, what's your limit for clones? Suddenly he froze. A pale green net unexpectedly appeared, preventing from moving further. What's happening? This net enveloped both Wangy and his clones. He said smugly, to break it only an ability corresponding to Frost Orb can do it. Turned back, scoffing. Idiot. Wangy spread his arms, arrogantly. Look clearly at their condition before you get arrogant. Kid, my sword can also seal space according to my will. Seeing 2 of his other clones also imprisoned, he was stunned. Sword. He recognized Wangy's sword over there. Couldn't help but wonder. Wangy calmly explained. From the first time you cloned yourself, your ability was not bad. But after learning about your ability, we had a countermeasure to trap you. At this moment, couldn't help but feel bewildered. On the other side, after a moment of silence, the 3 guys exchanged words. No more movement, must be dead, right? Slowly let go and see. Dong Nam shouted, rushing over. Get off Tu Luan right now. Between the 3 guys, a small spark of electricity suddenly flashed. Then, a series of other electric currents were discharged, pushing them back. Tu Luan knelt on the ground, shielding Black Egg and the poisonous branch beneath him. Seeing him sit up, it quickly asked, Tu Luan, are you okay? Tu Luan replied, while no one was paying attention. A drop of Tu Luan's blood fell, landing on the poisonous branch. The branch immediately trembled, startling Black Egg. What's wrong with it? Quickly, a small flower branch grew from the stem of that branch. Seeing it, he joyfully exclaimed, the poison tree has bloomed. These words made both and Wangi look over. How can this be? Without hesitation, he quickly asked for a favor. Tu Luan, excellent. Please take Ying Hu out of my mother. Holding the poisonous branch firmly, Tu Luan affirmed, Don't worry, I will definitely deliver Ying Hu at Hank Shuan. Dana, sitting on his hand, turned to ask him, Lord, it seems that from this point on, it's no longer suitable for giants. And besides, my blood tracking ability can only go this far. Hearing this, Ren was somewhat interested and turned to call. Dana, your bone orb ability hasn't been exploited to its full potential yet. Never mind, give it to me. Seeing this, he said, Lord, I'm afraid I'll have to trouble you to read the memories. Then he told someone to bring it immediately. Soldier, bring it here. Yes, Lord Ghost Crow. The soldier obeyed the order, bringing the precious item to Ren. He sat on his hand, using a spoon to savor this precious dish. The food was brought, and Ren scooped a bite to taste. As soon as he took a bite, he exclaimed, The taste of this composite beast is truly terrible. Aina heard this and said, I apologize, Lord, for making you suffer. Knowing this, Ren also understood. He had seen the memories before this merman was formed. This woman named Chuan is a beauty in the eyes of you humans. After saying that, he smiled unconsciously, making him confused. Then Ren stood up, letting out a chai. A pair of wings appeared right behind him. With these wings, Ren turned to show off. I have also synchronized my body. At this point, Dana, who was being carried, politely thanked him in return. Thank you, Lord. The two supported each other, heading towards somewhere. On this side, Tu Luan held the egg, keeping it close to him. While holding it, he had a thought. Black Egg, now that we control the butterfly, it's indeed much faster. But can it be even faster? Black Egg then reported that it had added his own power. This is already the fastest speed. Hearing this, Tu Luan became even more anxious, and a thought popped into his head. Unfortunately, it seems impossible to get there faster than him. We have to find a way to deal with that guy. Seeing him worried, Black Egg immediately turned to report. Tu Luan, actually, when we were at the ruins, I unconsciously explored that place. I discovered that in the ruins. There are still many hidden passages. I will transmit the information into your head. Let's consult it together. Following the instructions, he suddenly saw and couldn't help but be surprised. I see, there are indeed many secret passages. Seeing him so rushed, Black Egg followed and asked, What's wrong? Tu Luan discovered something strange and said hurriedly, There are 2 secret passages in Ang Chuan's room. Kin and Hi. Kin and Che. Meanwhile, when Chuan woke up and saw no one, she asked with a bit of confusion, Quinn and Che, strange, it's already this late. Why isn't Kin and Hi back yet? Anita rushed in, calling her. Hank Chuan, this is bad. Seeing her so rushed, Hank Chuan asked with a bit of confusion, What's wrong? Didn't they run into trouble? I didn't follow them, because he told me to stay and take care of you. Listen to me. The information vines I left outside the ruins have simultaneously lost signal for the past month. I can confirm someone has definitely infiltrated. Knowing this, Hank Chuan froze for a moment. Benito, scared, reported on this dangerous situation. The one who can destroy my information vines in an instant. This intruder is definitely not simple. Hank Chuan was no longer restless and immediately stood up and asked, What's wrong? She recounted the dangerous situation. The fireflies that were communicating with me earlier have all been destroyed. The invader has reached the entrance. After hearing this, Hank Chuan also understood somewhat and fell into thought. It seems the one who truly wants my life has arrived. After careful thought, Hank Chuan also made a decision. Benito, quickly go inform everyone. To leave the ruins from the north mountainside, Benito heard the order and agreed. Yes, I'm going now. She heard the order and immediately ran out to carry out the mission. But just as Benito left, a loud sound swept past her, making Benito worried, turning back to look towards the room. She rushed back to find her. Hank Chuan, why did you use your hair to seal the door like this? Inside, Hank Chuan was now on guard, saying, Benito, they are targeting me. You lead everyone out of here. Hurry up. Benito didn't listen, stubbornly saying, No, Hank Chuan, let's go together. The entrance is still some distance away. Hank Chuan didn't allow it, shouting loudly to send her away. Dozens of lives will die here. Having no other choice, she had to obey. I know, I'll arrange the others, and then I'll come back. Don't push yourself too hard. After saying that, she ran to inform everyone. Hank Chuan stayed behind, calmly closing her eyes and waiting for them to arrive. A moment later, someone's footsteps were approaching. It turned out that Dana and Rand had found this place. Hearing these footsteps, Angshuan immediately woke up. She used her hair to break down the wall fragments there. As soon as she finished breaking it, the two entered but saw no one. Looking inside, only intertwined strands of hair remained. Dana immediately turned to ask, "Lord, it seems she has escaped." But Rand realized something and laughed. "Really?" Just as they realized, Angshuan also used her hair to attack that spot. Angshuan, behind the bed, now saw who it was. It's him. But he showed no fear, laughed, and unleashed his power. He slowly advanced, using his wings, gently flying to find where she was hiding. Moreover, Rand used his three eyes, approaching and saying, "I found you." Angshuan at this moment didn't know what to do, only able to sit in anxiety. He shivered, looked at her with his wings, and then praised, "Indeed a beauty among humans. Fighting him, I have no chance of winning at all. It seems today is my great calamity. You must live well." Unexpectedly, Tiu Lun called Angshuan's place. "Angshuan, can you hear me?" Angshuan, hearing this familiar voice, she immediately asked back, "Tu Lun?" He also confirmed with Angshuan, "I am Tu Lun. Through Black Egg I established contact with your frost orb. Don't be scared, Andy. Black Egg is right below you." Angshuan saw Tu Lun and immediately asked worriedly, "Why are you back? He's there too." He also recounted the situation while reassuring her a little. "He's just having a small problem temporarily. But it's okay, he'll be here very soon. He asked us to bring in Hua to you." Angshuan tried to stop him, not allowing Tu Lun to come to this dangerous place. "No, you can't come. Tu Lun, you all leave quickly too. Find me, Andy can handle it." Tu Lun didn't care, promising. "Angshuan, what I promised though, I'll definitely complete. So you don't need to worry." Through that, he also instructed Angshuan a little. "You just need to follow my instructions. Andy, please move 2 meters behind me and meet up with Black Egg." Hearing the reminder, Angshuan immediately turned back to look. Exactly 2 meters behind. Just as they were about to attack again, a strange sound suddenly came from above. On the ceiling, loud noises kept running back and forth. Rand looked up, asking in confusion, "Is there a little mouse in sight?" Just as he was about to check the situation, a sudden attack from above struck him. Rand looked up, suddenly realizing and sensing something. "That charlatan is right above my head. Right, this aura is very special." Tu Lun, in his warm bugman form, was up there, looking down and thinking. Angshuan now moved 2 meters back. Angshuan looked up, startled and surprised to see him. "Tu Lun, why are you turning yourself into bait like this?" Seeing her worried, Tu Lun confidently reassured her. "Don't worry about me, Andy. After you drinking Hua to detoxify, follow Black Egg through the underground passage to leave here. You also know I have the ability to control others. After I control him, I will quickly reunite with you." She looked up, wanting to hold him back, but couldn't, so she could only encourage him. "I know, no matter how much I advise you, you'll still do what you want. All right, after detoxifying, we'll fight side by side." With his aunt's support, he happily agreed. "All right, we'll fight side by side." Seeing this, Dana stepped forward and volunteered. "My lord, leave the one up there to me." But he stopped him, because, "No, Dana, can't you feel it? That's the special aura of the progenitor, Kenny." After hearing that, he was a bit confused and asked again, "Progenitor, Kenny?" Ren also explained what it was. "The intelligence about the rare active candy you told me about, that's the kid up there, isn't it?" But he still wanted to try a little. "Sorry, my lord, I'm not very sure." Seeing that, he sounded surprised. But Ren didn't care, spreading his wings, and then took off, flying ahead. "It's fine. If we catch him and taste him, won't we know right away?" Tu Lun saw this and also felt something, and was ready to run forward, thinking to himself, "He has indeed chased me all the way here." Seeing him constantly pursuing like that, Tu Lun also found it confusing. Such a narrow space. Is he planning to swallow me whole? While running, he also looked for a way to fight. My combat state only lasts for half an hour. I must quickly hold him back. Then I will use corrosive energy to escape. But I don't know how long I can control him. Hopefully, it's not just a few seconds, as Black Egg worried. After thinking, Tu Lun put all his speed into his legs and dashed off. This acceleration allowed him to quickly and smoothly weave through the corners. Seeing this speed, Ren found it even more interesting. It's been a long time since I've experienced the thrill of hunting a living creature. I must control my strength will prevent him from dying. Too soon. Meanwhile, Angshuan was injured but still tried to crawl to another spot. Dana returned to the room to find her. "Sister-in-law, why are you hiding silently in a corner like this? Do you still recognize me?" He stopped short when he saw the scene in the room. Searching every corner and finding nothing, he wondered, "Where is she? This is bad. There's a secret passage." Dana stubbornly continued to search every corner of the room. On the other side, Angshuan had successfully escaped, guided by Black Egg. Angshuan, how do you feel after drinking Yinghua? Angshuan also felt it in her legs, then replied, my legs feel a bit numb. After hearing that, Black Egg was a bit hesitant. Is the dosage not enough? There's still one more flower here. But she refused. No, one flower is enough. Leave this one for the... Unexpectedly, Black Egg sprinkled the flour on her leg wound. Wait a little longer. Immediately after, the bandage on her leg wound was miraculously removed. Oh, Annie, look, it's working. On the other side, Ren continued to relentlessly pursue, while attacking Tuluan. But then he was able to perfectly weave and dodge. Immediately after, Tuluan ran to another place. Seeing his method, Ren also found it interesting, so that's it. His blood is full of black candy, the scent of Gaifanu. Hearing such a strange thing, Tuluan immediately turned back and asked, Black candy, Gaifunu? He also explained what it was saying. This is the fruit produced by the oldest ancient tree of life. It seems then you must be a descendant of the divine soldier tribe that lived in the embryo of life the earliest. He was confused, asking Ren back, the earliest tribe living in the egg-shaped world? Isn't this egg-shaped world built and manipulated by you? But he denied it, saying again, No, the embryo of life is just a life-generating entity that we happen to seize many places here. We still have to explore through you. Tuluan stepped forward, asking more about it. Life-generating entity, but unexpectedly Ren smiled, completely changing his attitude. A life-generating entity, its most valuable aspect, is that it allowed us to discover the existence of that fragrant delicacy. Tuluan spoke with disgust. What delicacy? All you do is disgusting things to others. What delicacy? All you do is disgusting things to others. Ren smiled and replied, Don't you humans also raise animals to eat? In essence, how are we any different? Tuluan was speechless, thinking to himself, Damn it, I have no words to refute him. As then a voice echoed in his mind. Tainan. He replied, Black Egg, what's wrong? Black Egg immediately reported the situation. Angshuan has successfully detoxified. Her leg has fully recovered. He urged, That's great. You must follow the original plan, and immediately lead her away. Black Egg immediately replied, She refuses to go. She wants to come and fight with you. Tunan, how are things on your side? Tuluan lied. Black Egg, please tell Angshuan that I have escaped. But Black Egg immediately exposed him. Tunan, we can still talk. You must still be within 300 meters. You can't lie. He confessed. Black Egg actually Angshuan and have long rekindled hope in my heart. The hope that my birth mother is still alive. Therefore, I hope Angshuan lives well. Black Egg replied, I know. I'll make her believe you've gone far. Be careful. Tuluan softly agreed. On this side, Black Egg and Angshuan moved quickly. She asked, Black Egg, the passage we're taking is in the opposite direction from Tuluan. So where is our meeting point? Black Egg led the way and replied, The underground secret passage in this ruin is not something we can imagine. We are still about 500 meters from the meeting point. She immediately noticed something unusual. Black Egg, you really can't lie at all. Although this is a strange secret passage, I've been here for several years after all. And she spoke, demanding, Stop. Black Egg broke out in a cold sweat, lamenting. Oh no. She questioned, Tell me, has Tuluan not successfully escaped, right? He tried to cover up this. I'm not sure anymore. We are no longer within 300 meters. She said wordly, of Black Egg, I know you mean well for me, but you can't let Tuluan be in danger because of me. Suddenly, a desperate scream echoed. Help, help. Angshuan shot like lightning towards the source of the voice. Black Egg and Angshuan crawled through an underground pipe and saw a group of people fleeing in panic. One girl in the group even had her arm tightly wrapped by a strange, long, thin purple object. Black Egg exclaimed, What is that? She observed the situation in front of her and said, I once heard my husband say that he could separate organs from his large wings. I think they're called eye embedments. He repeated in astonishment, Eye embedments. Angshuan attacked those eye embedments with her hair, cursing. Damn it, they quickly dodged her attack. Black Egg saw this and exclaimed, These eye embedments completely dodge all attacks. She jumped down, standing in front of the group of people. They were surprised by her appearance and called out loudly. Chuan, she wondered, What's wrong? Didn't you all leave with Mininak through the North Mountain Passage? Two girls in the group immediately recounted the situation. The exit of the North Mountain Road has been blocked by these monsters. There are too many of them. Mininak couldn't cope at all. Angshuan was extremely surprised. Only a few of us internally know the entrance and exit to North Mountain. How did he know and even set it up in advance? A voice echoed from behind them. That's because the Lord ate the brain of one of your important comrades. The person who just appeared was Diana. He continued. After that, I gave him the idea to arrange it in advance. Angshuan angrily. Do you want to avenge your previous humiliation? He retorted. No, I'm here to make a deal. She repeated in surprise. The deal? He got straight to the point. Back to rare candy. I don't believe you would use it on a human. It's that dark one. That body full of energy. That body full of energy. She thought to herself. Could he think that the energy in Tu Luan's body comes from active candy? No wonder he's pursuing him so relentlessly. Dana spoke. Where's the Lord? He's very interested in that kid. But I know that's not it, right? Angshuan shouted. What do you want? He made an offer. Resonate the active rare candy. Find the central region's location. Then deal with him together. Angshuan was suspicious. Deal with him. How did I hear that right? Dana said in a low voice. We are no different from animals managed by them. Angshuan didn't believe him. I won't be fooled. You are all the same bunch. Dana clutched his head, his voice full of anger, recounting. The first time I hunted you down, I truly risked my life for him. But do you know, after the hunt failed, half of my brain was eaten by him. What? He continued to tell his story. At that very moment, my thoughts changed drastically. Angshuan was half believing, half doubting, asking again, is what you're saying true? Wait, you're saying all this right in front of the eye embedments. Aren't you afraid he'll know? He calmly explained. The eye embedments are his direct organs. They don't have auditory function, so they won't hear our conversation. Longy had laughed loudly, unexpectedly appearing right behind him. It's true that my embedments have this weakness. Angshuan saw him appear and called out loudly. Tu Luan, because he was choking Tu Luan, rendering him unconscious in his hands. He sneered, but Dana, you don't know. This kid and I are already bored of playing. Dana immediately lost his momentum, stammering. Lord, he snapped his fingers, and just a few seconds later, Longy had swiftly eliminated Dana. He spoke. Don't you humans have a saying? Called ungrateful. It really suits this guy. Angshuan shouted. Release Tu Luan immediately. If you want the bone orb, aim for me. He burst out laughing. Would I exert so much effort just for one bone orb? She offered a condition. Indeed, it's still about the active rare candy. Release Tu Luan first, and you can ask me anything else you want. Longy cruelly replied to her. But I'm already bored of playing, interrogating. It's too troublesome. Isn't it faster to just read it directly? Angshuan was a little confused. Read what directly? He pointed to his head, and then spoke the incredibly cruel explanation. It's about prying open your skull, and eating the delicious brain marrow inside. Both Angshuan and Black Egg were utterly shocked by such a cruel act. He stuck out his tongue and evaluated. Brain marrow that still uses the bone orb so extremely. It must taste not bad. Black Egg called out in a panic. What should we do? Tunan, wake up. Tunan. It kept screaming. Tunan, can you hear me? Tunan. Long AI swung his arm and threw Tu Luan. He fell unconscious, collapsing to the ground. Angshuan immediately used brainwaves to communicate. Black Egg, is Tu Luan okay? It secretly checked and replied to her. Tunan is still in a fighting state. He's probably just fainted, not in life-threatening danger. She came up with a countermeasure. Then I'm relieved. You find an opportunity to lead him away. Angshuan's hair attacked him relentlessly, but it didn't harm him in the slightest. He sneered. Thickling, how boring. I told you I'm bored of playing. Quick as lightning, he tightly squeezed Angshuan's neck. Her hair hung limp, attacking him non-stop. Black Egg shouted in fear. Release her immediately. He calmly said, the stress response of the bone orb will make the brain marrow sour. All right, let's just take out the bone orb first. He looked at Angshuan's expression and continued. Don't panic. The moment I pull out the bone orb, I will simultaneously pry open your skull. Long AI smiled. The pain will only last about 10 seconds. She gradually fell into a state of suffocation. She thought to herself, the mother has to go. You must live well. Suddenly, Tu Luan returned. He jumped up, grabbing Long AI arm that was tightly squeezing Angshuan's neck. He was a little surprised, but immediately regained his composure, then smiled. You're getting in the way. He forcefully swung his arm down. The disparity in strength and height between the two sides was clear. But he still tried to hold onto his arm tightly. The wings behind him grabbed him, slamming him hard onto the ground until cracks appeared in the floor. Black Egg called out wordly. Tunan, Angshuan anxiously shouted. Forget about me, you two run away. He retracted his wings, pretending to say, I hit a little too hard. Then he turned to look at her and said, Never mind, let's continue. Tu Luen pushed his hands against the ground, trying to sit up and using all his might to rush towards Long Ai, grabbing his wrist as before. Long Ai was angry. You brat. Angshuan quickly spoke to stop him. Tu Luen, that's enough. Tu Luen. He shouted, no, I can't let anything happen to you. His heart was pounding, thinking to himself, corrosive energy, work quickly, I beg you. He had no more patience and spoke. All right, I originally intended to keep this, but now it's no longer necessary. Just remove the bone orb. Immediately he used his wing to pierce through Tu Luen. Angshuan and Black Egg panicked, calling out in unison. Tu Non, Tu Luen. He returned to the main issue. All right, now there's no one troublesome left. He grabbed Angshuan's neck and began to extract her bone orb. A heartbreaking scream of pain burst from Angshuan's mouth. With a whoosh, the bone orb, once extracted, immediately curled into a ball. He lifted Angshuan with just one hand and said, it's this skull. Long Ai suddenly saw the wound on her back. What's going on? Even he was confused. Why are my fingers no longer under my control? Long Ai turned his head back. That brat, he wanted to grab his own wrist to break free from the control. Long Ai was confident in his own strength, searing, you think you can control my body with such a tiny ability? Long Ho seized this opportunity to mock him. Long Ai, I can't believe you're being manipulated by a mere nobody to this extent. His tone was full of sarcasm. He immediately recognized this familiar voice. Long Ho, he still held a grudge. How long has it been since we last met? Wow, ever since the day you stole my credit and slandered me in front of the king. It's been over a year. Long Ai was furious but could do nothing. Feng Ho, you're truly petty. Do you want to commit insubordination now? You dared to play tricks on me. Feng Ho was proud of himself. Long Ai, I am helping you. My new ability is called Spotlight. I can set up a listening device on potential criminals. Whatever he hears, whatever he sees, it's as if I'm right there. He didn't even bother to acknowledge Feng Ho. Spotlight what? All useless abilities. Feng Ho, go take your punishment from me. Feng Ho was no pushover either. Shouldn't you be the one taking the punishment? Long Ai pretended not to know anything. He then pointed out Long Ai's mistake with an innocent look. You once ordered that any intelligence related to rare candy must be reported immediately. No unauthorized investigation or arrest is allowed. Yet you, Long Ai, have actually committed the crime of unauthorized investigation. He dismissed Feng Ho's point of view. Unauthorized investigation, what? Can't you see I'm just retrieving the bone orb? He recounted Long Ai's intention. Didn't you just want to pry open this woman's skull? To get intelligence about the candy, Tu Luen leaped high. He snatched Angshuan from Long Ai's hands. Feng Ho was curious to see him watch them escape without reacting. What? Not chasing them anymore? Didn't you want to read? Or do you want me to get the evidence? And then personally hand it over to the king? Long Ai was provoked to fury, growling. What exactly do you want? He was indeed greedy, stating directly, I want you to hand over the management of the giant world to me. Long Ai was struck by lightning, speechless. Tu Luen ran like the wind, leaving drops of blood scattered on the ground. He was extremely worried, calling out, Angshuan, how are you? Angshuan. Angshuan was about to leave her health to fate. Tu Luen, you silly child, don't cry anymore. My fate was decided long ago. It cannot be changed. He adamantly disagreed, firmly saying, no, you won't die. She gently comforted him. Tu Luen, everyone will die eventually. It's just a matter of sooner or later. Tu Luen's tears streamed down. There's a way. There must be a way. Don't give up. Angshuan's biggest concern at this moment was very simple. Right now, I'm most worried about that. I'm afraid he'll seek revenge because of me. He tried to run faster, speaking as he ran. Angshuan, don't talk anymore. Rest first. But Angshuan only warned. Tu Luen, I beg you. Promise me you'll stop that. If he rashly seeks revenge now, he will only be sacrificing his life. Tu Luen pretended not to hear, firmly replying, I won't promise. You tell him yourself. She knew she didn't have much time, sighing. I don't even know if I can hold on to Sita. He boldly affirmed, you will. You definitely will. Was in a daze, wondering, what the hell is this? Even the secret entrance to Baekhan Mountain exists. Dong Nam felt the situation was unstable. It's too strange. They keep fighting but don't die. He watched in astonishment as they flew away. Dong Nam began to doubt everything, wondering, why did they all run away? Rushed after them, feeling uneasy. There was no one around. Could their mother be locked inside? He kept muttering, oh, Mom. Mom, please be okay. Mom, although Dong Nam wanted to stop him, saying, "Wait, don't be so reckless," but felt extremely uneasy. Mom, Tu Luen didn't stop to rest for a minute. He still held on to hope of saving Ang Chuan. "Andy, just a little more. We're almost at the exit. Hang in there, Andy." And Tu Luen tried his best to help her breathe. "Very soon we'll meet the—" Black Egg also panicked, quickly saying, "Tu Non, don't speed up anymore. Stop. Stop. Did you sense anything just now?" Tu Luen listened to Black Egg and stopped, replying, "Yes, I sensed it." He immediately understood the situation, just like when he found Hoadon. "The thing inside this bag is resonating with us." Tu Luen shouted, "Is right above. Deep in the labyrinth." Long Hoa directly presented his conditions to Long AI. "Long AI, as long as you hand over control of the giant world to me, I can pretend I never saw anything." Long AI guessed his intention, asking back, "You want me to recommend you to take over this place in front of the king?" Long Hoa knew everything and replied, "Among the three worlds you manage, the giant world is the one you value the least, isn't it? Not only can it not provide food for the king, but there's also the secret chai." He couldn't understand, asking, "So what do you want with this remote place?" Long Hoa didn't want to waste any more time, stating directly, "Don't be a child anymore. You just need to decide whether to recommend me to take over this place, or accept your punishment." Long AI anger could erupt at any moment. Long AI angrily thought, "How dare you, Vong Ho?" He gave Long AI a choice, saying, "Listen to me, at least you can keep control of the other two worlds. If you accept punishment, all three worlds will be lost. Think it over yourself." He was so angry he clenched his teeth. Long Ho had long intended revenge. He continued, "Long AI, I originally intended to keep you down forever. But your remaining good subordinate allowed me to discover this astonishing intelligence." Long AI subordinate proudly boasted, "Kid, while I was tracking your movements, I accidentally discovered this drawing on the ground. On that drawing, the central region of the life-sickness orb was marked." He thought to himself, "Why does a king value the central region so much?" Although not explicitly stated, I know that within the central region exists a treasure capable of shaking the entire royal family. Long Ho was much more confident, saying, "Now, the entrance and exit are hidden in some corner of the giant world. Do you think I still care about such a petty revenge?" Long AI looked closely. Who will be the ultimate winner? He had a small bag on his waist. Inside the bag was a sensing box. He frantically rushed forward. A strange sound had attracted his attention. It came from under the floor. Suddenly, the floor was pierced through. Tu Luen's foot appeared at the hole's opening, startling and Dong Nam. He breathed a sigh of relief, saying, "I finally found you." He stood frozen in place. Hank Chuan lay motionless in Tu Luen's arms, rushed over to check the situation. He frantically asked, "What happened to my mother?" Tu Luen finally managed to speak, sorrowfully saying, Andy had her bone orb removed." She suddenly woke up, weakly saying, "It's so good. Before I leave, I can see you one more time." He was scared by his mother, quickly saying, "What do you mean leave? Don't talk nonsense. You'll live to be 100. But Hank Chuan brought up the past. Do you still remember when you secretly prepared a birthday gift for me when you were little?" Tears rolled down his cheeks. He choked out. "Remember? Of course I remember." She was truly overjoyed. "At that time, I felt like I was the happiest person in the world." Looked at Hank Chuan, who was enduring pain. "Mom," suddenly she suggested, "can you carry me on your back?" Hank Chuan once promised him, "All right, when you grow up and I get old, then you'll carry me on your back to travel. Go here and there, eat this and that." Without hesitation, agreed immediately, saying, "Okay, that sounds like fun. So it's decided. Mom, where do you want to go most right now? And what food do you crave most at this moment? Let me plan it." Hank Chuan was not in a hurry at all. She said, "You silly boy, there's plenty of time when you grow up. We'll think about it slowly. We'll plan it slowly." But he's still whining. "I want to know right now. Tell me, Mom." Hugged her tightly, sobbing. Hank Chuan was lying on her son's back. He carried his mother away under the sympathetic gaze of his friends. Felt extremely regretful. "Mom, I'm sorry. I never kept our promise." Hank Chuan blamed herself. "You silly boy. Didn't you say you'd carry me on your back to travel when I'm old? I'm not old yet. Let me be a little spoiled. I want my little darling to carry me around." He clearly remembered Hank Chuan's preferences. "Mom, later we'll go eat babushu jelly. And your favorites, too. And to Lin's sunflower garden, where your most beloved snow and hung flowers are. We'll go there, too." She was no longer there. She had left. So without choked out in reply. It's the Nam Hyan Hot Springs. Aang Shuan's hands fell limp. Mom, don't leave me, promise, before Aang Shuan's grave. Mom, I will definitely avenge this. I will chop that person into tiny pieces. You once told me, the only thing that can deal with him is what's in the central region. I will definitely find the central region. Then I will powerfully avenge you. Before that, he had also thought more carefully. Tu Luen risked his life to bring his mother out, so I could see Mom one last time. I must repay this kindness first. That is, to safely bring them to Calais City. After that, I will embark on revenge. Mom, please rest in peace. He regained his composure. Let's go. I will lead you to Calais City. 2 hours later, someone stepped onto Aang Shuan's grave. A stranger suddenly appeared. Its form had changed. It turned out this person was Ngenkwe. It approached, gently tapping the tombstone. Excuse me, the soul was scooped up. Ngenkwe used its power to extract Aang Shuan's memories. Its brain announced, copying Genesis. Ngenkwe took that brain. It installed it into its own head. The transformation happened in an instant. Ngenkwe successfully transformed into Aang Shuan. In front of it was a severed head. Dana was already impatient. Why did it take you so long to arrive? I've done as you said. When can I meet Ghost Fruit now? 0. Ngenkwe seemed to be deliberately stalling, replying, What's the hurry? Is the master someone you can just meet whenever you want? He couldn't help but worry, saying, Aren't you in a hurry at all? The reset of the life sickness orb has already started its countdown. By then all living beings inside will die. Both of us will die. We must quickly find the exit. Ngenkwe specifically reiterated the mission, saying, You must understand, everything we are doing now is to prepare for finding the entrance and exit. The Master's test for Tu Luen is related to whether we can survive and leave the life sickness orb. Dana still felt confused, asking, Is the test for that kid really effective? Ngenkwe knew which factor was important, replying, Isn't this test better than expected? There's been no information about the central region, forcing them to find new clues. Do you know that the central region corresponds to the main control room of the life sickness orb? That place can directly turn off its reset model. He offered an idea. It can be directly turned off. In Calais City, a man frantically fled. He cursed under his breath. Damn it. He thought to himself, Why are the Ghost Clan's people targeting me? No, this brain cannot fall into their hands. The pursuer was company. The weapon in her hand was exquisitely designed. Hako decided to act, injuring the man from behind. He couldn't help but be stunned. The man felt his body gradually changing. He screamed miserably in pain. Hako simply watched as the man completely stopped moving. I was playing assassin, company. She saw that her efforts were not in vain. She said to Do, Don't put this temporary mission in my regular tasks. This is overtime. Do immediately politely refused, saying, I don't have the authority. You tell your superiors yourself. He continued to lecture. Besides, I already told you to handle it carefully. If you break anything, you won't get anything at all. Akako didn't care, muttering, Says this wicked guy, he has no authority and is annoying. He just keeps watching me every day. This young lady is not a killing weapon for you to lock in. A cage. Who was carefully using the fluid from the egg, luckily without damaging it. Hako was a bit curious, asking, What is it? You calmly explain. This is a new egg brain, cultivated by the Black Wheel people. They say it's a new weapon they've just researched. Hako was not very convinced, saying, The Black Wheel people, the most primitive tribe of the life sickness orb. This guy's so weak. He's definitely not a Black Wheel person. He remained unusually calm, replying, He's probably just someone hired to escape. The Black Wheel people never show themselves anyway. Hako wanted to know the reason, so she asked, What does the Ghost Clan want to do with this egg brain? You confirmed the reason, saying, The Ghost Clan has finalized their cooperation with the Red Mystery Man. The next focus will definitely be on dealing with the Black Wheel people. Hako firmly stated, saying, I'm telling you now, I won't work for the Red Mystery Man. You turned and walked away, sneering. Do you have a choice? Let's go. Someone will come to pick up this egg brain later. We have to go back to the hotel. Hako refused to accept her fate as the minion, saying, Go ahead and mock me. This time I will definitely successfully escape the Ghost Clan. By then, you'll see. The girl's hands were tightly bound by handcuffs. She couldn't speak. There was a keyhole in the girl's chest. Hako was extremely pleased, thinking, After I steal this keyhole from him, he'll surely be in a panic. I've given enough hints. She could feel it, saying, It's here. Hako was even more certain, saying, again through her eyes, she looked directly through that deep black hole. Tu Luen was not surprised, saying, coming to peek at me. This woman indeed knows I'm watching her. Kale City Isa. Dong Nam wanted to confirm again, asking, Tu Luen, what's the situation over there? He calmly described, wait a moment. Now she's pulling up the peephole and walking around the room. Tu Luen paid attention to small details, saying, there's a winged fox symbol on the wall. Immediately pinpointed the location, saying, it's the Flying Fox Hotel. It's the closest to Yuanla prison. He thought of the worst case scenario, saying, the peephole is indeed being suppressed by criminals. If we wait for her to transfer the prisoner to Yuanla prison, it will be difficult to deal with. Tu Luen became suspicious, saying, but she arrived in the city early and hasn't taken the prisoner away yet. And her actions right now clearly have an ulterior motive. She wants to invite a snake into the house. He then asked for an opinion. Fuong Tu Luen, so what do you want to do? He had already thought of a way, saying, my current energy is still enough to manipulate one car company. The Dong Nam, shall we put on a play? Dong Nam was utterly confused, asking, a play? What kind of play? Tu Luen wanted to use someone's own trick against them. A play also to invite a snake into the house. Worried about his health, saying, Fuong Tu Luen, let's not talk about the play yet. The wound on your body is still bleeding. Are you sure you can still hold on? Tu Luen was completely confident, replying, I'm recovering very quickly now. This combat state is very powerful. Maybe I can even become unkillable. Black Egg reminded Tu Luen before acting, saying, Tunan, if he hits your heart then, you will still die, and besides, after recovering, it will hurt like hell. But Tu Luen teased, saying, Black Egg, your tongue is really sharp now. Your words are no longer pleasant to hear. It showed concern, saying, but all in all, Tainan, you've already passed the time limit for maintaining your combat state. But Tu Luen didn't understand, asking, what do you mean? Black Egg provided information. Your current sustaining energy doesn't come from me, but from yourself. He felt lucky, saying, and isn't that great? And besides, I also noticed the black color on your body has returned. It was sad about its state of helping Tu Luen, saying, I feel that now for Tunan. I no longer have much utilitarian value. He gently comforted, silly, your value to me is determined by what I say, not by you. Your value is immense. Black Egg was extremely excited, saying, Black Egg curiously asked, how big exactly? He awkwardly replied, I'm not very good with words. I mean, it's very big. Tu Luen didn't want to waste precious time, saying, all right, don't worry. My body is fine, as I showed determination. Now, we should discuss how to perform this invite a snake into the house play. And Cha looked around and wondered, it's strange, why hasn't the master returned together with us yet? The gathering point was not far from the Flying Fox Hotel. It continued to move forward without any precautions. Soon after, it discovered a person's corpse and exclaimed in surprise, isn't this the giant that Fuong Tu Luen controlled? Why is he lying here like this? And Chai approached and touched his neck. Immediately after, he was shocked and said, no, there's no pulse anymore. And Chai began to feel anxious, running around searching, what's going on? Where's the master then? Master? Suddenly, it was startled when it discovered something. Ed and Genquet was kneeling respectfully before someone. Master, because of an unexpected event, this humble one took the liberty of seeking you out. The other person happily continued, it's all right. Oh, hi, at this moment. He snapped his fingers. Something like an egg flew straight towards Chai, surprising it. As it was a little distance from Chai's face, the thing burst open, emitting a puff of white smoke directly into its eyes. In an instant, Chai was knocked down and fell to the ground. At this moment, the other person calmly spoke. All right, speak. And Genquet presented a box containing something inside and said, Master, please see, this is the egg brain we exchanged before the ghost clan seized it. The other person also understood the intention, saying, so that's it. Are the Black Will people preparing to cause an egg parasite battle? We really shouldn't get involved. Just switch it back, letting the red people taste. A new flavor isn't bad at all. Looking at the egg brain in the box, it exuded an extreme eeriness. And Genquet obediently followed, saying, yes, but this humble one has already been parasitized by this type of bacteria. Nevertheless, he calmly continued, it's all right, just a tiny egg bacteria. I will help you remove it. It immediately expressed gratitude. Thank you, master. Next, from his two fingers, a small hole opened in space. The hole gradually grew larger under the control of his fingers. After that, it grew bigger and bigger. A moment later, an egg-like object appeared. It was called the nurturing object. The other person stepped inside the nurturing object. And Genquet continued to speak. Master, this humble one would like to report something to you. This humble one has forcibly brought the peephole created by Fuong Tu Luen into the prison. He inside the egg praised with satisfaction. Very good, you can always keep up with my rhythm. It continued to explain, Master, Kako has an arrogant personality, pulling her into Fuong Tu Luen's faction. This humble one feels she will overpower Fuong Tu Luen. This humble one feels it's not very suitable. From inside the nurturing object, tendrils slowly pierced through the shell. They directly embedded into Ngenkwe along with a voice resonating. Kako's parents came from a live sickness orb. For us, she is more beneficial than harmful. It's alright, this is also a test for Fuong Tu Luen. Wen Ngenkwe said nothing more and immediately obeyed, saying, Yes, this humble one understands. Then the other person seemed to remember something and continued to order. Alright, someone wants to meet Fuong Tu Luen at this very moment. You arrange it. Hearing that, Ngenkwe wondered, Who is it? He revealed, the black wheel person claiming to be from the human copy world. At this point, Ngenkwe seemed to suddenly realize something had seemed to change. Meanwhile, in another place. Tu Luen spoke up, wondering, Kako, I have a question. If you are a top-ranked assassin of the Ghost clan with such formidable skills, why are you afraid of a small giant? Kako explained without hesitation. That's not fair. They are just people sent by the Ghost clan to supervise me. There's nothing to be afraid of. Hearing this, Tu Luen became even more curious. Supervise, she helplessly stated. Alright, if I've chosen this way to meet you, then there's nothing to hide. My body has been implanted with a special ancient poison by the Ghost clan. It can move in my blood and restrain me. Tu Luen seemed to have understood the problem, saying, So your real goal is to escape the Ghost clan, right? You guessed correctly. When I came to the land of the Incubus to carry out a mission. That was the second time I discovered the energy anomaly point. After that, I always paid attention to the changes there until you arrived. He now realized. So you discovered the anomaly point early on, but you've been in the giant world for so long and couldn't find a way to leave? She explained, very difficult. Such anomaly points appear very rarely, and from what I know so far, the only way to escape the anomaly point is through the secret gate of the Red People. Hearing this, Tu Luen was startled. He guessed that the red person she mentioned was himself. Kako further explained that this secret gate can only be opened by the Red People, and its location is not fixed. Therefore, ordinary people cannot take advantage of it. Tu Luen tried to guess, so we can only rely on the Red People to lead us in, but she immediately denied it. That's also not feasible. When ordinary people enter the secret gate, their bodies will not be able to withstand it, and they will be torn apart and die. Hearing this, he cautiously inquired further. What about Ghost Fruit? How did he get through? Kako calmly replied, Ghost Fruit has bone orbs on him. This thing seems to be the evolution of the primordial egg. It's a mystery over many years. The number has not increased at all. Only a mere 15. This information surprised Tu Luen even more. Bone orbs used to be eggs. She continued, I was about to tell you. But before she could finish, Kako was startled, realizing something was amiss. Immediately after, she clutched her ears, knelt down, and cried out in pain. Tu Luen witnessed this scene and asked in confusion, What's wrong with you? Kako's face was now dark green, and she tried to whisper, This is the ancient sound. At the same time, not far away, Ru was using his hand to play some kind of melody. His hand had numerous holes looking like a flute. The sound blown out flew straight to Kako, causing her extreme pain. Tu Luen panicked. Ancient sound? But I don't hear anything. She clutched her head in pain, explaining with a trembling voice. This is a low-frequency sound wave. Only those who have been cursed can hear it. He looked at Kako thoughtfully. She didn't look like she was acting at all. Despite the pain, she still tried to whisper. In another hour, I will enter the prison. It shouldn't be hard for you to manipulate the jailer to get in there. Tu Luen was surprised to hear this and asked again, How do you know I can manipulate giants? She still patiently replied, The energy embedded in him is exactly the same as the energy in you. The prisoner with the peephole is being held in a high-security section. This is a place where jailers usually cannot reach. His face was full of confusion as he listened to Company. Tu Luen asked, So you mean we have to cooperate? She trembled with pain, but still managed to say, That's right. Kako pondered, Now that the peephole is no longer in my hands, there are no conditions to negotiate with him. We can only compromise and cooperate. Ruth threatened, Kako. If you still refuse to cooperate with me, I will raise the ancient sound to phase 2. By then, if you suffer to death, don't blame me for being heartless. Kako staggered to her feet and said to him, I have to go. I hope that in an hour. I can see your figures. Tu Luen was deep in thought, looking into the distance. At this moment, Black Egg anxiously asked "How's Tu Luen doing?" He angrily shouted, "Damn it, my clone has lost. If my true body were there, let's see how arrogant he could be." Black Egg, sweating, asked what exactly happened, sharply turned his head, and replied, "Fuong Tu Luen's situation is still unclear. I hope the time I bought is enough for him to manage." Before he could finish, he heard a sound. Dong Nam and Umcha slowly walked in. He anxiously asked Dong Nam, "What's wrong? Why did it take so long to return?" Dong Nam recounted, "On the way back, I encountered a pursuer." Black Egg flew back and forth, asking, "Was the pursuer another small giant?" Dong Nam coldly replied, "Perhaps." Wondered after hearing this, "Perhaps? Why perhaps?" Dong Nam, sweating profusely, recounted, "After evading the pursuer, I completely don't remember anything." Seriously speculated, "Then your opponent might have the ability to lock memories." "But why would he erase your memories?" "Chai, when you went to find him, did you discover anything?" he asked, and Chai, standing next to Dong Nam, could only shake his head, saying, "I don't understand either. I can't remember anything." Suddenly, Black Egg spoke up. "What about the giant that Tu Luen controlled?" Dong Nam replied, "He came back with us. He's outside." And the others stepped outside. He observed thoughtfully and then said, "Now we can only wait for Fuong Tu Luen to return before we can figure things out." The giant looked up blankly, suddenly spoke, then the high security section is deep within the prison. It's very difficult for us to enter. From what I've learned, there are 4 levels beneath the prison, and the high security section is on the very last level. Tu Luen walked in, slowly saying, "Therefore, it's very difficult for the giant outside to lead us into the high security section. I feel that when cooperating with Kako, we must be extremely careful." He and Dong Nam both hummed in agreement. Tu Luen ordered, "Let's go." In the dark Wanglab prison, in a long, desolate corridor, he and his 2 brothers had just stepped down from the giant's large hands, looked around curiously, and asked, "Where is she?" Tu Luen was also curious, looking around and saying, "The jailer can usually only stop here. She surely knows that." But before he could finish, Dong Nam shouted, "There." He pointed to the towering corridor above, and immediately they saw Kako standing there. She waved softly, saying, "This way." All 3 looked up at Katampany. He and his brothers quickly followed her. Asked, "Didn't the small giant follow?" Kako quickly replied, "There's only one exit on the bottom floor of the prison. If he guarded it, I definitely couldn't escape." Tu Luen urgently said, "We must speed up. The key's disappearance time is less than 2 hours away." She heard this and looked panicked. "This bottom floor is very vast. If time is so urgent, I need someone with visual resonance ability to accurately pinpoint the location of the peephole." He was surprised to hear her say that and asked, "I thought you already knew the exact location where he's in prison." "I only know the general area, but it's not impossible for the prisoner to be suddenly moved to another area. We need to confirm to avoid wasting time." Tu Luen slowly stopped and said to her, "Okay, I understand." He called out, "Black Egg, coming." They quickly took out the key. Suddenly, something sharp pierced up from beneath the ground. Bone fragments emerged one after another, forcing Dong Nam and to quickly jump to V. Underground, there's Black Egg had just managed to warn when the key was holding flew away. Black Egg frantically turned left and right, falling into a state of extreme confusion. She held the key in her hand and loudly said, "The key, thanks." It turned out Kako had set a trap for him. Tu Luen quickly ran after her, shouting, "Kako, were you playing were all your words lies?" She used magic, causing bone fragments to grow, forming a wall separating both sides. Kako calmly replied, "No, everything I said was true. It's just that I only trust myself." He slammed his hand against the wall made of thousands of bone fragments, angrily saying, "Damn it." Dong Nam, running after Tu Luen, was equally annoyed, saying, "The path is blocked. This damn girl." He suddenly changed his expression, coming strangely calm, then said, "It's okay. She'll have to come back to us to pay for her sins. 'Cause only I can use that key." Still the dark and cold Wanglab prison. Ru looked up, hearing a giant rushing in with his companions, shouting, "Do you know, just now, in the abandoned building in the city, Dapsan's body was found." The companions were surprised and asked, "What?" Ru remembered the large giant with one eye covered, asking himself, "Dapsan?" The companions also whispered back to the other one, "Or are you mistaken? I just saw him." Ru was suddenly surprised. He quickly stood up and whispered, "This is not good. Is this girl colluding with outsiders again? And she wants to escape." Ru pondered to himself. Kako, holding the key, thought to herself, In this world, no one is worthy of my trust. She ran desperately, her mind still lingering with unresolved thoughts. Whether in the past or now, the only person I can trust is myself. Kako ran desperately towards the door. I want freedom. No one can stop me. She stared intently at a girl with a peephole, terrifying the girl. Kako screamed, frustrated and annoyed that she couldn't insert the key. Impossible. Why can't I even insert it? Kako continuously exerted force, but all her efforts were in vain. The other girl couldn't take it anymore and angrily shouted, "If you want to kill me, please do it quickly." "Shut up." Her voice trembled as if she was about to cry, which greatly surprised the other girl. "I can't give up yet." She made a hand, still aiming directly at the girl standing in front of her. The other girl couldn't resist, only able to widen her eyes in surprise. And she collapsed, completely losing consciousness, in the cold and gloomy corridor. Kako used all her strength to lift the body of the girl, holding the peephole above her head. Her eyes wide, full of determination, she thought to herself, "As long as I can leave this place, any price is irrelevant." Looked around and said, "Fuong Tiuluan, this new giant you're controlling must be terrible with directions. Didn't he just reach the final exit? Why do I feel like we're going deeper and deeper?" Tiuluan replied, "This giant, under manipulation, probably won't play any tricks, right?" "Right, black egg flap its wings," and replied, "That's right, once a creature with a brain is manipulated, it will always obey absolutely, unless it has no brain." Tiuluan quickly speculated, "If he has no brain, he won't follow orders and lead us anywhere." He turned his head, angrily uttering a reproach. "If Kako hadn't caused such a huge commotion, you and the jailers are coming soon, it's best we stay here and wait for her." Dong Nam coldly stated, "She deliberately caused such a big commotion, so we couldn't chase after her." "But did she guess that we would be waiting at the exit?" Tiuluan sharply turned to Dong Nam, answering confidently, "That woman is very cunning. She can definitely guess that." The giant suddenly stopped and said, "Ahead, I can't go any further." He asked, "Why did you lead us to a place with no path?" The giant hesitated to explain. "No, it's below." The giant said, "This is a shortcut. After passing through here, we'll quickly reach the exit." After they all safely landed from the giant's shoulder, Black Egg then said, "Tiuluan, it seems he's leading us through a shortcut." Tiuluan turned to look back, full of questions. Strange. Why didn't he say anything at first? Never mind, the most important thing now is to quickly get to the exit. After walking around for a while, his mind was filled with worry, thinking, walking for so long, it's either up and down or in circles. Something feels off. Suddenly, something ahead greatly surprised Tiuluan. It turned out to be a silent door appearing before their eyes. Shouted angrily, "Dead end, ahead is the prison. We've been tricked by the giant." He broke out in a cold sweat, confused. "I feel something is strange. But why would he lead us here?" Also fell into thought, saying, "The location of this prison is very strange. Moreover, on this path, all prisons have guards. Only this one has no one. Could it be empty inside?" "I'll go check," a husky voice spoke. Dong Nam advanced towards the door. After looking through the small glass window for a moment, he saw a woman inside. Dong Nam said, "It's not empty inside. There's a woman in prison, but it's so strange. She's covered in a bubble-like layer." Suddenly, a transparent bubble fragment flew from inside, piercing through the thick iron door. It took him in, making everyone shout in unison, "Dong Nam!" The bubble quickly tightened, making it harder for him to breathe. The woman inside the room shouted, "If you don't want to die, tell that woman to return my things." Dong Nam's body gradually floated up, forcing Tiuluan to hold him down. Black Egg urgently shouted, "The master seems unable to breathe." Urgently said, "Quickly break this bubble layer." He tried everything but couldn't puncture the bubble membrane. Strange, what exactly is this thing? Completely unpuncturable. Suddenly footsteps were approaching them. Kako approached, still holding the girl's body, and ordered them, "Quick, drag him out now." Tiuluan saw her and surprisingly called out, "Kako!" Then confusedly repeated her words, "Now, now." The woman in the room heard the noise and loudly shouted outside, "This sound, it's her. You rotten woman, quickly return my things. Other things don't matter. I only need the pendant." He heard this and wondered. Pendant turned around and scolded Kako, "You rotten woman. Did you steal that woman's things inside?" She paid no attention at all, arrogantly ordering Tiuluan, "Ignore her. Quickly insert the key into the peephole now. You and the jailers are almost here." You and the jailers were urgently chasing and arriving. He was stunned after hearing Kako. "Well, even the jailers are chasing us now." She shouted loudly, urgently ordering, "Hurry, Fuong Tiuluan." Quickly use the key to insert it into the peephole. Otherwise, all of us will be caught. Suddenly, the woman inside whispered in a trembling voice as if about to cry. Fuong Tu Luen. Did she say Fuong Tu Luen? I didn't mishear, did I? Tu Luen quickly took the key and inserted it into the peephole. The woman's voice suddenly spoke again. Tu Luen, is that you? It's me, your sister. He heard those words and could only stammer back. Sister. Sister. In the gloomy night forest, under the old tree, black and white round eggs swayed back and forth. The white-haired man listened intently. Situation report. Just now, we sensed the normal energy, and we have set up an ambush. Yes, everything has been done as you instructed. Please rest assured. White-haired turned to Zaikai, saying, the Grand Court is on its way. The higher-ups ordered the first mission is to capture the variant Black Egg and its host alive. As for the others, kill them if you can. Zaikai turned, asking with a hint of excitement. Does that mean we can go on a killing spree now? The white-haired man paused slightly, replied, you could say that, but if you can't kill him, don't argue with him. Just escape quickly. Zaikai's expression gradually changed, the amusement on his face growing stronger. He asked, is there someone I can't kill? Suddenly he laughed maniacally, which startled the white-haired man, making him step back. He thought to himself, damn it, the higher-ups sent this guy to work with me. Once this guy gets bloodthirsty, he's very hard to control. Yufin, who had been silent until now, also spoke up, asking, Manager, if we successfully capture that variant egg alive, will I be rewarded with an egg to eat on harvest day? The white-haired man smiled, vaguely replying, you've done well this time, a reward is natural, but whether it's an edible egg or not, we'll only know then. Upon hearing this, Yufin's mind was no longer clear enough to recognize the trap in those words. He grinned, really? And it's possible. I'm really looking forward to it. 5 minutes earlier, Tu Luen was losing control upon hearing her name called. Tu Luen, it's me, your sister. Why, he froze. His mind stalled, mumbling, sister. Is she my sister? At this moment, you and the others gradually approached. Surrounding Tu Luen, the cave shook. Everyone panicked. Black Egg spoke up. Master, we're back. Suddenly, Tu Luen grabbed Kako's arm. He asked her, Kako, who exactly is she? She said she's my sister. Kako's face was tense, reassuring him, can we wait a bit to talk? The dogs behind us have also followed us to this world. But Tu Luen was currently extremely stressed, frantically interrogating. No, tell me clearly now. If you don't explain, you can't leave. Kako sneered. If I want to leave, can you stop me? She looked down at the hand gripping her arm, and glanced at Tu Luen's expression. Slightly shaken, his body was trembling. She finally couldn't bear it, saying, oh, fine, I'll tell you. Kako squatted down, rummaging through her backpack, explaining, why? Because Fuong often calls her that. I think that's probably not her real name. She added seriously, the reason they're chasing her is unclear, but it's said she killed a red-skinned secret person. Those Fuong accepted the commission and mission to capture her. He was shocked. Killed a guy? Him. Kako continued, that's right. She's very powerful. All the assassins sent after her disappeared without a trace. Those Fuong had no other choice. So he found me and 4 top-ranked assassins to surround and capture her, and only then were we barely able to catch her. From her backpack, she took out a pendant with a blue stone. This was the pendant the woman had mentioned. Tu Luen took the pendant. Observing it closely, the stone on the surface was a beautiful blue gemstone, its color exceptionally beautiful. Approached, casually saying, you rotten woman, there are other things, aren't there? Why don't you take them out? Kako gritted her teeth, annoyed by his way of addressing her, and said, take them out, take them out. Stop calling me rotten woman randomly. He still stared at the pendant in his palm, flipping it over. Then he opened the pendant. Beneath the gemstone was a small photo. In the photo, 2 siblings were hugging each other, smiling happily. Seeing this photo, Tu Luen seemed to realize something. Fragmented memories flooding back. Sister in the photo was carrying her sobbing younger brother on her back, her expression tense. Tu Luen, we have to go. Be good, eat this, and you'll sleep well. Your parents must not let anything happen to them. He clutched his head, continuously calling out, sister. When the memories passed, Tu Luen gradually regained consciousness, mumbling, sister. She really is my sister. Was still fiddling with the items Kako took out of her backpack. He complained, so you rotten woman stole her things because you wanted to keep this crystal egg for yourself. She was angered by his outrageous words, scolding, if you don't speak, no one will say you're mute. Continued to ramble. This crystal egg sells for an exorbitant price in the giant world. Black Egg wondered, is that the crystal egg? Suddenly, the mask on Dong Nam's face cracked. His eyes briefly widened in shock. Immediately after, the crack grew larger, and fragments fell off. From behind, a shadow darted forward like lightning, and with one swipe cut Black Egg in half. That person was none other than Dong Nam. Tu Luen witnessed the scene. It was as if lightning struck his ears. Everyone present couldn't believe their eyes. He exclaimed in horror, "Black Egg!" Dong Nam still didn't let go of Black Egg. He reached out and grabbed half of the egg. As fast as lightning, Dong Nam took both Black Egg and Tu Luen, disappearing without a trace. Everyone could only utter cries of astonishment. Kako panicked, too fast, in just a blink of an eye. Still cursed casually. Fraud. Is that really Dong Nam? At this moment, Tu Luen was still bewildered, carried on Dong Nam's shoulder. He wondered, strange, why can't I use any strength at all? Where's Black Egg? He seemed to understand what Tu Luen was thinking. He reassured him, Tu Luen, don't worry. I'm removing the part linked to Black Egg. I'm saving it. Tu Luen seemed to realize something. He exclaimed, this voice, you're not Dong Nam. Who exactly are you? The one currently wearing Dong Nam's face sneered. He said, in the Egg of Life, everyone calls me Number 0. Outside the tunnel, Yao Thin's group was still sitting, knees drawn, waiting. He grew impatient and asked, Manager, why is there still no movement? Wouldn't it be better if we just charged in? The white-haired man replied, haste makes waste. Suddenly a strange gust of wind swept by, making the tall grass sway gently. Tu-hai, who was bowing his head, sensed something and immediately ran after it. The white-haired man saw this and asked, Tu-hai, what's wrong? He replied while running, something's not right. Something definitely just flew past. Both Yao Thin and the white-haired man were stunned. Tu-hai still didn't look back. He just kept running in the direction where something had just whizzed past. The manager exclaimed, complaining inwardly, how troublesome. Yao Thin showed no sign of wanting to leave his position. He took a small breath and said, Manager, this person is too sensitive. The owner of that Black Egg isn't that powerful. If they had just passed by, I would definitely have noticed immediately. At this moment, and everyone else had just rushed out. He ran and cursed, damn Dong Nam, you loser. Stop right there. Black Egg held in his hands, struggled and cried out, let me go. He turned and glared at Black Egg, scolding, your master has taken Tu Luen. Do you think you can escape? Black Egg struggled with all its might, saying, that's not my master. He didn't give it a chance to explain. Shouting, shut up, I don't want to hear your nonsense. He was still unwilling to give up. Threatening loudly, listen up. You're ambushing here with Dong Nam, aren't you? Come out yourself. And indeed, someone emerged from the bushes. It was Yao Thin's group. The white-haired manager and Yao Thin stepped out, followed by 3 other eggs. He scratched his neck, wondering, something's not right. This isn't the kid I met before. But in his hand is the variant Black Egg. Only now it's half an egg. The white-haired man stubbornly said, half an egg, even if it's only half, we must seize it. Kako turned to and asked, can you handle all of them by yourself? Well, he snorted, and replied with a sniff, Bete, you rotten woman. I wasn't counting on you anyway. She smirked strangely, reminding him, it's just a reminder I sense quite a few energy bodies approaching. It's best to finish this quickly. His face darkened, looking very angry. He said, look at you, so arrogant. Get rid of your lackeys first, then talk. Kako turned to you, instructing, you don't follow me anymore. You're free too. Let's go our separate ways. You spoke up respectfully, saying, you can't leave. We have to find that dark kid again, so he can lead us back to the giant world. She laughed loudly. I've worked so hard to get here. There's no way I'm going back. You suddenly said something irrelevant to the current situation. Given this situation, would you like to hear me play some music? He said, then brought his hand to his mouth, and began his work without even bothering to ask Kako's permission. Seeing you like this, she gritted her teeth. Her face panicked. Damn it. All right, we'll go find that Tu Luen kid. Kako gathered momentum, leaped, and charged towards Yao Thin's group, saying, anyone who blocks my way shall die. Yao Thin still hadn't realized the seriousness of the situation. Still laughing, sending a beauty to fight, are we? I won't go easy on you even if you're a beauty. The manager's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He ordered, engineers, hold her back. My target is the 2 variant eggs in the hands of that long-haired man. Yao Thin heard this and replied with a laugh, as you command. However, Kako showed no panic at all. On the contrary, she was even a little excited. She struck like lightning, unleashing a straight slash that gave all 3 eggs in Yao Thin no time to dodge. All of them were cut in half. Kako tilted her head, revealing a cold, snake-like smile. which completely mismatched her gentle face. Meanwhile, at another location by the lake, Lewin was left behind, muttering to himself in a daze. So sleepy. No, I can't sleep. He wondered where exactly was this place. Behind Lewin, number 0 was busy doing something to Tuhi's body. Half of the black egg had been connected to another, larger egg. He wondered what exactly was that guy doing? Nam was using strange equipment, connecting them to Tuhi's slump body. He muttered to himself, I'm checking if he's qualified to be a puppet. Lewin was stunned upon hearing this. Puppet, wait, can you hear my thoughts? Number 0, while tinkering with the modifications. That's kindly explained. Through the small embryo on your back, I can hear you. Only then did he notice a strange device attached to his back. So you attached this thing to my back. No wonder I can't move. He turned around with a cold, expressionless face and said, Don't rush. After I fix the black egg, it will be your turn. Lewin was astonished by number 0's words. Fix? What do you mean? What did you mean earlier by eliminating the link part of the black egg? The black egg was floating in the air, being repaired by countless strange tentacles from a larger egg. He maintained that cold expression, saying, Both your brain and the black egg have been implanted with monitored organs. Half of the black egg's body has been infiltrated, so it had to be cut off. He was stunned by number 0's calm words. His mind hazy. Is there one in my brain too? When was this organ put in? He continued to repair the devices on Tuhi's body, while explaining, Normally, it's when you're born and eat the connected egg, but you were probably around 1 year old. At that time, I had just adapted to this body. It was too late to help. Lewin lay face down on the rock, his mind still reeling from the amount of information he had just received. He asked again, Adapted body. Weren't you Dong Nam's multiple personality? Number 0 said. No. Dong Nam is only 22 years old, but I've lived for over 100 years. He exclaimed in surprise, Over 100 years. He smirked, very doubtful. Aren't you? Because I am a parasitic brain inside Dong Nam's head. Now we share the same body. Lewin couldn't believe his ears. He wondered, lived for over 100 years. Brain parasite, you, what exactly are you? Number 0 frowned. What the thing? Why do you call me the thing? Although I don't have a body, I also come from Earth. I am a real human. Lewin asked again in a daze. Earth. He stood up and explained, You were born here. You probably haven't heard of Earth, have you? That's my original home, there. My name was Luke Dinhite. I was an underground doctor, although my life wasn't glorious. It was quite exciting, I loved it. Number 0 took steps closer to him. He said, Until I got involved with the suddenly appearing red-skinned people. Number 0 knelt on one knee beside Lewin. Recounting, we became the first group of Earthlings to be placed in the egg of life. He exclaimed upon hearing this. The first group. You guys didn't even investigate the red-skinned people's purpose before entering? He didn't answer, just quietly continued his story. Earth began to be unsuitable for human habitation. When hope appeared, do you think people could still remain calm? Lewin's eyes widened in surprise. Number 0 continued, We humans. As long as a human-like creature gives us a little benefit, we immediately consider them brothers. So we sent 15 pioneers in to investigate the situation. He was shocked. 15 people. Exactly the same number as the bone spheres. Number 0's eyes became sad. He said, We pioneers who went in all had to undergo the compatibility training of the red-skinned people. Lewin realized something. He confirmed, Compatibility training is actually arranging for the bone spheres, isn't it? He said, More specifically to be precise, we were modified, and also given some secret commands. He was startled and asked again, Secret commands. Number 0's eyes now became crazed. He said, Kill the owner of Bone Sphere number 0, and replace him. This was the command I received. Lewin exclaimed, What? From the beginning, weren't you number 0? Seeing that they had exposed to each other, he didn't hide it and admitted, That's right, I am number 15. Don't deny it. He questioned, Did the red-skinned people want you to kill each other? So what about the commands of the others? Number 0 also enthusiastically explained to him, Everyone's command is different, and only they themselves know it clearly. Lewin wondered, Are commands transmitted through the linked egg? Do I have one of those too? He replied, Edible eggs are low grade. They cannot directly transmit commands. Hi, Curson. He asked in panic, What the hell is that? Perhaps even number 0 didn't fully understand this thing. He said, Information about the egg Curson is very limited. I don't know much either, but one thing is certain. It came out of the core area. Lewin heard that familiar name, and asked again, the core area again. Number 0 crossed his arms, not hiding any information, and said, "It's just that whether this egg person was originally in there, or if it mutated after entering, he hinted, that remains a mystery." He was intrigued by his vague words. He wondered, "Your mystery is even greater, so what exactly are you doing now?" Number 0 seriously, word by word, stated his purpose. "My goal is very simple. It's to leave the egg of life before it resets," he said. Then stood up. T. Lewin watched Number 0's movements, wondering, "Reset?" He calmly explained, "That means the egg of life will return to its most primitive and chaotic state. At that time, all living creatures will face overwhelming disaster." He exclaimed, "What?" Number 0 stopped paying attention to Tu Lewin. Turning to the giant egg, he continued, "Before the reset, there will be a calming period for the creatures within to make a choice. Either leave or stay. But the current situation is that the red-skinned people have sealed off the exit." He helplessly exclaimed, "These red-skinned people want to trap us, to kill us all." He turned back with a calm expression. "As for them, their heads are full of food. They just want to harvest eggs on a large scale before the reset. That's all." Tu Lewin asked, "So how much time is left until the reset?" Number 0 touched the black egg to check it, and replied, "Less than half a month." He was surprised, clenching his fists, shuddering. "No, I can't stay here forever. I want to go back to the giant world to save my sister." He turned to him. "Your sister killed a red-skinned person. Prison is just a temporary stop. It's highly likely she'll be transferred. The transfer location will probably be our side of the world." Tu Lewin was startled by this news, unconsciously letting out a cry. Number 0 kindly explained, "This side is the largest. The transfer will take place here. As usual, the red-skinned people will gather to select the commodities, then open an exit leading outside the wall, to be enjoyed by the royal family." He adjusted the position of the black egg and said, "Your sister committed a serious crime. She will be divided and eaten by the red-skinned people in the product selection ceremony." Tu Lewin was horrified upon hearing this. Divided and eaten. Number 0 spoke sternly, his face serious. "If you want to save your sister, you must act on the day of harvest." "All right, little black egg, it's done." Number 0 pulled the black egg away from the tentacles, casually saying, "It's your turn now." He looked over. "Wait, I haven't finished asking." The device on Tu Lewin's back activated slightly, and he fainted without warning. Outside the core area of the Egg of Life, the transmission area, Ren, captain of the special search team under the Red King, was pleading, "Please spare me." Min-Q remained calm. "Won't look at me with pleading eyes." His voice enchanting. "Transmit the message. You all misunderstand the definition of reset." Ren was shocked by this news, and cried out in surprise. Min-Q glanced at him and said, "It's not an event that will suddenly happen one day. Not a process of cleansing." He took steps, gradually approaching Ren. The black bone layer gradually disappeared, revealing a pale gray brain. Min-Q approached the brain, his voice echoing like in a night forest. "The brain has shifted from creation to destruction." Countless egg sacs hung high above. Min-Q remained calm, then simultaneously bringing forth the apostles of evil about to be born, completing the reset process. He stood before the brain, commanding like a supreme deity. All living things prepare to welcome it. Scene shifts to another place. T. Lewin paused for a moment, looking to the side. Immediately after, he broke into a radiant smile. "Black Egg, are you awake?" Black Egg looked up at Tu Lewin. Tu Lewin, where's this?" Tu Lewin leaned down and explained, "This is base number 0, beneath the lake cave when he lifted it." He asked in a daze, "Number 0. Tu Lewin's expression became serious. "You've been unconscious for several days. I'll explain everything to you as soon as possible, but the harvest begins in 2 hours. So we need to prepare quickly." Then the group of 3, including Emperor, you and Bone Maiden, approached carrying 2 other eggs. He spoke. "I've been waiting for you to wake up." Black Egg exclaimed in surprise. "Emperor, and Bone Maiden too. Why are there 2 more eggs?" Emperor immediately presented the plan. "We will split up and act." Bone Maiden from behind calmly stated, "He and I will disguise ourselves as food ingredients to sneak into the red-skinned people's product testing meeting." You also stated his position, and I will be on the periphery, playing the role of support and timely information relay for everyone. Black Egg asked in a daze, "So what about me and T. Lewin?" At that moment, T. Lewin poked his head out and said, "We will work with number 0 to find my sister's location and the whereabouts of the egg person." Black Egg was a bit surprised. "Egg person," he nodded in confirmation. "Yes, I heard that the person in charge of this harvest has changed. The replacement is the egg person, and it will escort them out of the city wall. Although number 0 doesn't know much about him. But I heard that knowledge of the entrance and exit of the Egg of Life has been passed down to the red-skinned people. After hearing that, he wondered, is that so he can control and find the exit? He looked at Black Egg and slowly explained. Now, because we don't understand the egg person, there are many variables. Initially, we wanted to rescue my sister, and then disguise ourselves as high-quality food and escape the wall with our teammates. He continued, but if the egg person acts now, I'm afraid he will see through the disguise that number 0 helped us create. He asked in confusion, is the egg person that powerful? Tu Luen replied, the egg person has a body made of pine nut kernels and can see through any object. Black Egg was surprised. So what's our solution? Destroy the pine nut body. Bone Maiden spoke. Number 0 said that. The egg person's ability is definitely not inferior to the red-skinned people. So it's very difficult to destroy him. Therefore, we need to use your ability. Black Egg was a bit confused. Ability, energy control. Tu Luen can use it himself. Besides, last time it didn't work on the red-skinned people. He immediately denied. No. What we need is your ability to stop time. It helplessly explained. Tu Luen, I can only stabilize the opponent's energy. Moreover, the frozen person is still conscious and time doesn't stop. But he said, Black Egg, you stopped time 3 times during these days of unconsciousness. It seemed surprised. Tu Luen said, although it was only a few tens of seconds, time really stopped. And moreover, when it stopped, only I could move. Black Egg just looked confused, but I don't remember anything. He recalled a bit. At that time, you kept mumbling that you must be dreaming. Tried to remember what you were dreaming about. It was startled, then recounted. I dreamed of a huge head. That thing invited in a deep voice. Child, take my hand and rebuild this world from its roots. Then Black Egg said, this brain is inviting me to destroy heaven and earth with it. The other 4 looked at it in astonishment. It continued to recount. And then, I saw another self, but only half a body. It wanted me to be loyal to that big brain and attack me frantically. After thinking for a moment, it said, and dreams like this kept appearing. Before finishing its sentence, Black Egg looked confused. Bum. Everyone. Tu Luen looked behind him and immediately said, Black Egg, you stopped time again. Black Egg, you stopped time again. It flew up and looked at the other 3. Still a bit confused. Everyone really stopped. By the way, Tu Luen, why did it stop? He stood up and replied, to get a sample from the egg person. To help number 0 find its weakness. Black Egg timidly asked, so where is that number 0 now? Tu Luen quickly replied, he already set off earlier. This confused Black Egg. Aren't we acting with him? So how do we contact him? Tu Luen pointed to his ear. Through this mole-like thing. Just imagine the person in your mind and command connect with them. If you don't want to talk to that person. Just command disconnect. Suddenly an electronic sound rang out. He contacted me. Then a voice from the other side rang out. Tu Luen, I have found the location of the red-skinned people's base. It is currently located right beneath the school you attended. Tu Luen was stunned. Beneath the school. He rushed to the school, carefully avoiding the gaze of others, while Black Egg said, Tu Luen, I finally understand. Number 0 is another personality of Dongnam. But why does everyone trust him so much? What Reset? Everything he said came from himself. Tu Luen looked back, then replied, initially, we didn't believe him either, until he showed us a video clip. Black Egg looked at him suspiciously. Video. Recalling the scene, Tu Luen's face suddenly turned pale with fear. It was a video clip of a person, a life form from another world, being relentlessly hunted by something from the center all the way here. Black Egg asked worriedly, Tu Luen, you said the one being hunted is a life form from another world. Tu Luen nodded in confirmation. He learned this news from the conversation of 2 humanoid creatures. He wondered, 2 creatures? He recalled and replied, that's right. These 2 humanoid creatures were competing to hunt that person. During their struggle, I heard them mention resetting. Then Tu Luen offered his speculation. Those 2 humanoid creatures must be competing for leadership in this reset. Black Egg seemed surprised. Competing. While looking around cautiously, Tu Luen chatted with Black Egg. They mentioned the brain. We guess that's probably their leader. They compete to gain the favor of this brain. Black Egg was startled, as if he had just realized something. The brain? Could that be the giant head I saw in my dream? Confirming the surroundings were safe, Tu Luen quickly moved. It's very possible. As they walked, Black Egg cautiously asked, so how was this image obtained? He replied, according to number 0's analysis, it was probably copied from a human retina. He walked, looking around vigilantly. Black Egg continued to ask, Is this person still alive? He quickly replied, that's unclear. After all, the image is not the original, and the clarity is not high. Suddenly, the deep voice rang out again. Tu Luen, over here. Number 0 stood in front of a classroom door, smiling at Tu Luen. Beneath the school grounds, two figures were rushing through the darkness. As he ran, he looked up at the strange things on the wall. Are the things on the wall what the red-skinned people use for surveillance and defense? He answered decisively, that's right. I studied this thing thoroughly. Still seemingly doubtful, Tu Luen asked again. Now, in their eyes, are we really like invisible people? Number 0 replied, conceal the energy on your body, and it won't detect you. The time I spent training you, now, is the time to test it. Black Egg in Tu Luen's bag suddenly felt worried. Tu Luen, I've never trained. I don't know how to conceal energy. He looked back and explained. Don't worry, Number 0 is created. A protective membrane for you, which can conceal your energy. He was immediately surprised. Well, then asked, have you found my sister's location yet? Number 0 in front replied, 2 eyes found it for us. Tu Luen immediately felt overjoyed. That's great. Finally found her. And Black Egg asked in confusion. Tu Luen, who is 2 Eye? He repeated, it's the person who ambushed us outside the cave before, wanting to attack us. After he was modified by Number 0, he is now on our side. It immediately felt a bit hesitant. Modified. Number 0, who was running ahead, suddenly spoke. Tu Luen, although your sister's location has been found. But Tu Luen asked worriedly. What's wrong? He replied. Currently, the swarm of people is heading towards your sister. Hearing that, Tu Luen was surprised and extremely worried. On another side, a few people were exclaiming in admiration. The goddess is indeed a goddess. Strange, there's such a beautiful woman in school. Why haven't I noticed her? Coco happily enjoyed their admiring glances. Who is she? Who is she? So charming. Emperor, walking beside her, only felt frustrated. I told you not to dress revealingly. Look, you've attracted so many people's glances. She angrily retorted. What glances? These are eyes mesmerized by me. He leisurely smiled and said, mesmerized? You really don't know your place. Just don't get in my way. Coco looked down and sneered. Getting in your way? On the contrary, just make sure your hand doesn't suddenly giantify. Hey, don't you see it's healed? You need to get your eyes checked. She frowned and complained. It's exhausting talking to you. Suddenly, a sound rang in his ear. Emperor, he paused for a moment, then asked, what's wrong, giant you? Elsewhere, he lowered his voice and asked for a favor. Keep an eye on that little girl for me. Emperor was immediately stunned. Keep an eye on her. Hey, brother, we're about to lose our lives. Why are you still caring about her? Are you still stubbornly trying to bring her back to the giant world? You immediately denied. Oh, I just... He quickly interrupted him. You just like her, right? You stammered in denial. Don't talk nonsense. Emperor smiled teasingly. This guy, the harvest is about to begin. Next, the eggs above everyone's heads began to suck something from their bodies. Back to the events beneath the school. Tu Luen eagerly asked, is this where she's being held? Number 0 immediately stopped him. Wait, you two stop. He looked at Number 0 suspiciously. Number 0, could it be? Number 0 replied, yes, that is the Minkyu swarm. Minkyu, that one, was standing right in front of them. Before them were Minkyu and 2 subordinates. We're late. This witness has already met your sister. Number 0 reminded him telepathically. You don't need to worry about your sister. It won't harm the designated food source of the red-skinned people. Tu Luen pursed his lips, puzzled. What exactly did this special individual want from his sister? He raised an eyebrow and explained. He probably wants to get some information from your sister. Number 0's words made him even more suspicious. Information he seriously predicted. I guess it's information related to the world of the copycats. Hearing this, Tu Luen was startled, full of doubt. The world of the copycats? That's where the life seed is. Number 0 looked at him and corrected. It's in another life seed. The more he listened, the more Tu Luen was astonished. You mean she was in another life seed before? He softly replied, I'm not sure about that. We'll have to ask her to find out. Clearly, he was still tense after the telepathic conversation earlier. Number 0 said no more, turning back to the main topic. Tu Luen, this witness before us. Now is the time to use your abilities. He peeked out slightly, looking towards Minkyu and his companions. Number 0 quickly reminded, because after time stops, only you can move. While telepathically speaking, he offered a tiny bottle. You use this to lightly scrape him, and you can get a tissue sample. Tu Luen took it. Before using it, he asked for clarification. Will it hurt him? Number 0 quickly reassured him. No, it'll just feel like a thin veil gently brushing past. Tu Luen, hearing this, proceeded with confidence. I understand, Black Egg. It immediately appeared. I've got the important point. Black Egg's entire body gradually emitted a blue light due to magic. Immediately after time stopped, number 0 was a bit doubtful, asking, It stopped. Tu Luen, if we've stopped time now, why not just kill this witness directly? Minkyu also stood still without moving. Tu Luen quickly jumped up, given his original position. He replied as he approached it. This witness holds a major secret of the red-skinned people, and cannot die yet. Moreover, it's unclear if it can even be killed. What if we can't kill it? The distance between Tu Luen and Minkyu grew shorter. Before saving my sister, we cannot act rashly. He slowly took out the bottle from earlier to perform the task. Now, just lightly scrape the back of its neck and number 0 will find a way to discover its weakness. In Tu Luen's sight, its nape was clearly visible. I should do it. However, just as he was about to act, something flashed past so quickly it left no afterimage, startling him. Tu Luen turned his head in confusion, full of doubt. He was bewildered, repeatedly asking Black Egg. Something clearly flashed past overhead just now. Black Egg, this can't be. We've stopped time. It could only feel helpless, breaking out in a cold sweat. I don't understand what this is either. After a moment of no movement, Tu Luen looked around again. Is it real? It's not manifesting here. Black Egg quickly urged him. Forget it, Tu Luen. We don't have much time left. Don't worry about it. Let's get the sample from the witness first. Tu Luen then reacted and rushed forward, but immediately after, several ropes were thrown out, tightly wrapping around his arms and waist. Tu Luen was startled and turned his head back. Immediately, the thing pulled him strongly towards itself. Tu Luen was lifted and pulled into a detour. He then stopped himself when he realized it was Lathan again. You little... He reminded him. It uses multiple bodies. Taking a sample won't do any good. After hearing that, Tu Luen was startled and shocked. Multiple bodies. Lathan continued to explain. Don't take risks. Its main body is outside the life seat, not the one in front of you now. This body and the main body are not on the same level, and their constituent materials are not identical. If you really want to take a sample, you must take it from the main body for it to have research value. And again, I advise you, it's best not to get close to it now. If its true form discovers you, and you absolutely won't escape its grasp. Having said that, he slowly released Tu Luen. Lathan gently moved closer to Minkyu to his astonishment. Why help me? He just seriously turned his head, signaling silence. Tu Luen was suddenly startled, looking blankly towards Lathan. He curled the corner of his lips, turning his head towards it. Why? Because I want to fix it too. Immediately after, time returned to normal. Move. Minkyu seemed unaware, having lowered his head to remind him when he saw him. Lathan, why are you here? Don't run around everywhere. He obediently replied, Yes, father. At a address utterly astonished Tu Luen. Father. After the recent incident, Tu Luen and number 0 had to rack their brains to find a new solution. Since the witness can use multiple bodies, taking a sample from him seems impossible. Suddenly he remembered an important detail. The child called the witness a father, so perhaps they are indeed father and son. Number 0 rested his chin on his hand, thinking, whether they were father and son or not, it didn't matter. The fact that he helped us is an undeniable truth. We can look for another breakthrough from him. Tu Luen looked hesitant and worried, but the information we have is too scarce. Number 0 reassured him. Don't rush, he will definitely come to us again. While they were discussing, they were startled by a strange noise. Right below them, 2 subordinates were passing by. Tu Luen quickly recognized the person being led away by them. It was his sister. He turned around, clenched his fists, and suggested, Number 0, I feel now is a very opportune moment. Let's rescue her first. Number 0 was a bit dazed and asked him again. But Black Egg just used its ability not long ago. Can it be used a second time? Tu Luen turned to him and affirmed confidently. Of course. On the way here, Black Egg and I practiced several times. Black Egg also slowly spoke up to confirm. That's right, there's only a difference of 1 or 2 seconds. Number 0 tilted his head, hesitating. Now, the main problem is that your sister's large silver laurel brain reading ring is a bit difficult to deal with. Saying that, he raised 2 fingers and pulled out something. Between number 0's 2 fingers was the silver laurel. When Black Egg stops time, silver laurel also cannot read anymore. Moreover, if the silver laurel approaches carelessly, it might alert those 2 red-skinned people. He seriously calculated. We can divide it into 3 time-stop instances. Finally, number 0 was completely convinced. Tu Luen leaned over and asked cautiously, By the way, Silver Laurel, you can shrink your body, well, right? He quickly and confidently replied. That's right. He was much more at ease now. Then it settled. Black Egg once again froze time. Tu Luen immediately dashed away. In his hand, he held the Silver Laurel, just as planned. Black Egg asked him suspiciously, Tu Luen, can the Silver Laurel transform into someone else's appearance just by reading their brain? Tu Luen replied while focusing on dodging the subordinates. That's right. A few days ago, we practiced transforming perfectly. He leaned close to his sister, attaching the Silver Laurel to her hair. Just let it hide in her hair for about 2 minutes, and it can finish reading. Before leaving, Tu Luen didn't forget to pat his sister's head to reassure her. Sister, please wait a little longer. After the Silver Laurel finishes reading, I'll take you out. After making sure everything was fine, he left with peace of mind. Scene shifted to another location. At this moment, a group of people was moving, each with an egg on their head. Cooker and Emperor were mingling with that group. She reminded him, the branching selection for witnesses is about to begin ahead. The path to the highest quality fruit is definitely the middle path. They quickly entered, lining up to wait for their turn to be checked. In front of them was Renti. Emperor couldn't help but notice him. A red-skinned person was stationed there. Cooker looked over and reassured Emperor. He looks like it has nothing to do with him, so he probably won't easily detect us. Emperor also affirmed, we have all controlled our energy within the normal human data range. As long as you don't show too much emotion, just walk through naturally. She telepathically whispered to Emperor, you worry about yourself first. It's almost time to use the crystal to differentiate. Food selection is done through the color of the crystal. Purple is the best food. Blue is decent, and yellow is the most common. Cooker seriously pondered. Before, when I used mixed crystals to test several times, they all turned purple. There should be no major problem passing this point. Then she quickly stepped forward for the check. The testing machine was quickly brought close. After a few seconds, the machine turned purple. Cooker breathed a sigh of relief when she saw it. Indeed, there's no problem. Then she turned and headed towards the middle path as intended. Renti, who had been silent until now, suddenly looked up and paid attention. Cooker, without any expression, walked past him. When she had passed without any hindrance, she secretly rejoiced. Successfully passed behind her, it was Emperor's turn to be checked. Surprisingly, his crystal turned blue. Emperor was astonished to see this. That's strange. Why is it blue? Scene shifted to where Cooker was walking. Although she maintained a calm demeanor outwardly inside, Cooker was already in extreme panic. Emperor, what did you say? Blue. Why blue? He quickly replied telepathically, I don't know either. I asked number 0. He said it might be due to rapid absorption, which elevated the spirit stone data. She brushed aside that issue and moved on to an even more serious one. But blue and yellow eggs will directly separate the egg from the person. Well, what are you going to do? Emperor had to choose a more dangerous option. What to do? Just let it separate. After faking death, I'll quickly go over there. Cooker quickly suggested. Can't you escape beforehand? But Emperor dismissed that idea. It's not possible here for now. Before him was a crowd of giants ravenously eating eggs. It continuously peeled the eggs with both hands, eating non-stop. The way they ate looked as if they had been starved for a very long time. Emperor seriously observed the surrounding situation. At this moment, this area was quite crowded with red-skinned people. Before long, it was his turn. It came to secretly eat before the eggs were separated. As soon as he saw Emperor, his gaze immediately focused on him. Cooker, on the side, though uneasy, had to accept it. All right, you can probably handle this small matter yourself. Emperor confidently replied, of course. After their discussion, she walked straight ahead, blending into the crowd. The scene shifted back to Tu Luen's original position. The two giants continued to move, even though Black Egg had used its time-stopping ability. The more Tu Luen observed, the more anxious he became. Damn it, why doesn't stopping time work on them? Black Egg slowly spoke. But hasn't number 0 also stopped now? Finally, you had to let go of that question. It seems that for these red-skinned people, the time-stopping ability can only be used once. It could only sigh helplessly. If only I had known, I should have saved your sister the first time. Tu Luen turned around and discussed with Black Egg. Do you think the two of us can deal with those two red-skinned people? He immediately flatly rejected his idea. Of course not. With number 0's ability, he might be able to handle one red-skinned person. What about us? We can barely win in close combat. Moreover, red-skinned people can exchange information with each other. Very quickly, their companions will arrive. By then, not only will we not be able to save your sister, but we'll also become criminals. The more it spoke, the softer its voice became, full of worry. We are still too weak, suddenly he demanded. Black Egg, quickly stop your ability. If these two red-skinned people discover that others are using time abilities, it will be very dangerous. Black Egg didn't dare to delay and immediately obeyed him. Number 0, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. For the red-skinned people, we can only use our abilities once. Then there's no other way. We'll stick to the plan. At the tasting party, we'll find an opportunity to rescue your sister. Moreover, since Silver Laurel is with your sister now, we can also get new information in time. Tu Luen immediately agreed. Yes, that's the only way. Before that, Black Egg, don't hide in the bag anymore. To make it easier, I'll disguise you as a high-quality practical egg first. After hearing the whole plan, it didn't dare to object. Alright, the scene once again shifted to another location. Inside the elevator now, there was not only Cooker, but also 6 other people. After waiting so long, finally enough, 5 good quality eggs were gathered. She frowned, not revealing any emotion. With such limited numbers, if there's an infiltrator inside, the risk of exposure is still very high. After a while, the elevator finally stopped. The group quickly moved out. In front of them, 5 other people were locked in cages. Cooker silently observed her surroundings. She looked at the scene before her and exclaimed, "In cages, they know how to play." Cooker quickly moved to a position level with them. Once there, she began to think. Now there are less than 10 people in total, and the cages are not large. According to the recent energy I've sensed, within a 50-meter radius to the left, there are 2 other cages, also packed with people from the tasting party. It must be right below us. Indeed, as expected, right below them was a large hall. Those people were constantly chatting excitedly. They exchanged words cheerfully and boisterously. After observing for a while, Cooker deduced. Now there are only 4 red-skinned secret people in the hall. On this side, Yu was questioning in surprise. Normally, you would have recognized the danger level long ago. Is your head waterlogged now? Cooker secretly retorted. Whether to leave her or not, I will decide for myself. Don't you always say that risk always comes with opportunity? Her words made him helplessly exclaim. But the situation now is completely different. Cooker gently curved her lips, a smile so faint that hardly anyone could notice. Now, perhaps the opportunity is right beside us. Right above her, Lathan was sitting and observing everything. He, after seizing the opportunity, quickly jumped down. Lathan stood behind Cooker, calmly revealing, "Sister, when did you notice me?" As he approached, he reassured her. "Don't worry, I've blocked their senses. It won't affect our conversation." Lathan, emboldened, pressed closer and climbed onto Cooker's back. She quickly realized that this guy secretly followed me from the moment I came down. If I'm not mistaken, he's a child that Fuong Tu Luen mentioned. He happily praised her. Sister is truly very calm. Cooker then opened her mouth, muttering, "Tell me, what do you want us to do?" Lathan replied with amusement, "A straightforward sister, who speaks decisively, is the one I like the most. Come out at his call." Len H.A. slowly poked her head out from her hiding spot. Her appearance stunned her. A little girl. Without letting Cooker wonder further, Lathan immediately proposed. "I will turn her into an egg. Then I will exchange her for the egg on your head." Although his words startled Cooker, her expression remained unchanged. Lathan was straightforward, directly stating his condition. "As long as everyone helps me get her outside this wall." He seriously assured her. "I will help everyone easily bypass them." Cooker immediately made her decision. It seems opportunity has found us. The scene once again shifted to another location. Tu Luen and Number 0 decided to blend into the crowd here. Black Egg curiously asked Tu Luen, "What did Cooker say? Why do we suddenly have to change our route? Infiltrate the high-quality egg team like this?" She quickly explained. Currently, she is talking to the little dragon person, Lathan. Specific details will have to wait until she contacts us again. However, she reminded me to be careful of Number 0 beside us. After hearing that, it felt even more confused. Tu Luen secretly wondered. The little dragon person told her that the current Number 0 is a clone. Black Egg was even more bewildered than him after hearing that. A clone? What is that? Wait, so was he originally a clone? Or has he been replaced? Tu Luen replied, "I'm not sure what's happening, but we haven't trusted him much from the beginning. It's just that the transition between Dong Nam and Number 0 didn't seem like a fake. Is this something a clone can do?" He was sweating with worry. That's right. Was he replaced when he went to school early to handle things? Tu Luen immediately reassured him. "Don't overthink it anymore. We've reached this stage. We can only be cautious and adapt as needed." Suddenly Black Egg remembered. "So Tu Luen, what about your sister? If we all go to the high-quality egg team, how will we save her?" He quickly replied. "The little dragon person said that she holds a big secret and cannot die. He will secretly take her outside the wall." The person we saw before was just a dragon person transformed into her likeness. I wondered, could what the little dragon person said be a lie? Tu Luen firmly asserted, "Well, I trust my intuition, 'cause when I touched her head then I felt a strange energy." Black Egg hesitantly inquired, "So where is your sister now?" Tu Luen replied, "Cooker only mentioned these two things, but I guess she will be taken outside. After all, an exit can only be created near the wall." Now, it finally changed the subject. Itachi is arranged outside to investigate the exit. If your sister is taken out, he will definitely inform us. That's right, what about Emperor? Tu Luen and Number Zero's group were now being taken into the elevator. He secretly replied, his egg was stolen and eaten by the red-skinned people. After discussing with Cooker, I decided to meet Itachi first before planning further. Suddenly, Black Egg asked repeatedly, Tu Luen, I don't quite understand. You said the exit was created by humans. So where is the original exit for the life eggs? Tu Luen had to explain. After being locked tightly from the outside by the red-skinned people, the gate seemed to malfunction and couldn't be opened anymore. It seemed to have figured everything out. So the current method of creating an exit was taught to us by the egg people. He quickly affirmed, that's right. Finally, their elevator stopped on the 4th floor. The two of them were led to a large cage. They, along with two others, stood in front of the cage door. Tu Luen secretly speculated, the four of us here must be the last batch of high-quality eggs. Suddenly, the surroundings began to move. Going down soon, he immediately guessed, it seems these red-skinned people couldn't wait any longer. Not only them, but also other. Cages were moved downstairs. A voice rang out. The party officially begins. Distinguished guests, please be seated. On the cage were Tu Luen and Number Zero, along with four others. Beside them was the cage containing Cooker's group. On the giant's dining table, many eggs and brains were laid out. They quickly sat down at the table. Tuo turned and asked how many high-quality eggs were harvested this time. Another one immediately replied, I don't know why, but many died along the way. Currently, only 25 remain. Bot Lamb smirked, chatting animatedly. Then we can't enjoy more high-quality eggs. It's still better to cut and share them on the spot for a fresher taste. Bonan immediately added cheerfully, don't forget we have a right to choose 2 eggs to eat on the spot. That information stunned him and his brother, allowed to choose 2 on the spot. Even she was equally surprised. He seemed not to notice and continued to chat. If that's the case, after entering the exit, who knows how many more will die. The last batch that reached the king only had a few left. He began to speak while putting food into his mouth. Who said the energy of the life egg outside the wall is so powerful? He excitedly asked back. The egg people said the medicine has been improved, but I wonder if it will still be effective. Suddenly, Lathan appeared out of nowhere right behind Long AI. By then we'll know the actual effect, my lords. Immediately, he and the person next to him turned their heads in surprise. Lathan, you always appear and disappear like a ghost. Fu has already gone ahead. Fu still has some matters to tend to, and will arrive later, so he sent Lathan here to serve you. After hearing that, Long AI just silently pursed her lips. Black Egg followed uneasy and quickly asked again, Tu Luen, did we take the medicine before entering the exit? Tu Luen affirmed, the artificial exit needs to be synchronized with the energy frequency of the wall. This requires us to take medicine to synchronize our bodies. Otherwise, the energy will tear us to death. Hearing that, it suddenly paused a little worried. On this side, Bot Lamb had already started urging. Long AI, it's your turn to choose this time. Go quickly and choose 2, then let the kitchen handle them. He happily accepted. Look how pretty your mouth is. All right, I'm going to choose now. Black Egg stood there, unable to help but feel scared. Oh no, Tu Luen. He's choosing. If he recognizes us, we're done for. He quickly reassured it. Don't panic, we were in combat mode before. So he won't recognize us. Long AI on the side had already started to stand up. He slowly walked towards the iron cage. Standing in front of the cages, Long AI rested his chin and thought. Let me examine them carefully. Usually those with better physical strength produce tastier eggs. His gaze swept over each person, full of appraisal. After a moment of consideration, Long AI seemed to have chosen what he liked. Ultimately, which 2 eggs will he choose? His gaze coincidentally stopped at Tu Luen and Number Zero. At this, Long AI couldn't help but smirk with satisfaction. Unexpectedly, Lathan appeared just in time and intervened. It seems both the Lord and the humble servant have the same discerning eye. His humble servant also likes these 2 eggs very much. His words happened to provoke him. The same eye, you little devil. Who would have the same eye as a low-class person like you? Thinking so, Long AI happily pretended and pointed in another direction. Lathan, you guessed wrong. What I'm looking at are the 2 eggs on either side. Thanks to this, he and the boy escaped disaster. Lathan suggested, "These 2 eggs? Then I'll help you take them to the kitchen, shall I?" He then skillfully refused. "No need, we want to personally taste their freshness." He didn't say much more either. "Indeed, you know how to eat well." Tu Luen, who had been listening to the conversation, couldn't help but exclaim, "It seems this little dragon person can get a handle on these guys." Time passed a long while later. Lonnie easily got the 2 eggs he wanted. The other 2, after having their eggs taken, were now slumped on the ground. He placed 1 egg on the dining table. The other egg was about to be cracked open to be enjoyed. "Gentlemen, I'll open 1 egg first." To see how discerning my eyes, Long AI finger quickly sliced a line across the egg. Suddenly Min Q from who knows where rushed out to stop him. "Stop, it cannot be opened." To his astonishment, it swung its arm, sending the egg flying far away. The egg flew straight and then crashed hard into the wall. When it broke in half, inside a disgusting black slime was revealed. These were the eggs that Hak Luen and Han had secretly put bacteria into. Min Q's words stunned this entire group. The more Tu Luen listened, the more confused he became. Hak Luen and Han. That egg hit the wall and oozed out a pile of black slime. While everyone was focused on the egg, the person whose egg was taken earlier began to move his fingers. He glanced around, secretly making up his mind. "Before I die, I must kill one of them." As for Long AI on the side, his face had turned dark with anger. Seizing this opportunity, he decided to launch a sneak attack. "Thought you red-skinned people." But immediately after, his arm was pierced through by the giant's arm. Min Q then slowly stepped forward. Its gaze swept towards the cages that were holding prisoners. And Min Q, without a word, teleported itself. It stopped right in front of the cage holding Cooker. This surprise made her extremely terrified. She reassured herself. Calm down, don't reveal any weaknesses." Min Q just stared intently into the cage. Cooker, though a little scared, still appeared emotionless on the outside. The little dragon person had entrusted her with the task, asserting that victory was certain. She once again stabilized her emotions. "I must remain calm. I cannot reveal any weaknesses." At this moment, Lathan was slowly approaching. His tension was clearly visible. Lathan just stared intently at Min Q's back. Suddenly, it swung its arm, firing a stream of energy straight into the adjacent cage. Immediately, a person carrying Hak Luen and Han was exposed. Min Q slowly spoke. "The 2 eggs with hidden bacteria have been destroyed." Saying that, it ran towards the other group of people and reported, "My lords, I must transfer this batch of high-quality eggs first. The trial you judged the female prisoner before. I won't be attending." Hearing that, Long AI was stunned. "Why the rush? The judgment of that woman is the most exciting part." Min Q honestly explained, "The king has issued a new secret order. I am just following instructions." This information left everyone in stunned amazement. A secret order? He suspiciously turned to ask the other person, "Tuo, you are the closest to the king. Do you have any more news?" The other person answered without hesitation, "The king did not reveal anything to me. However, it seems Lent, who was searching for the Belthcore, has returned alive." Hearing this, Long AI suddenly looked distraught. "He's back." Min Q said no more, bid farewell, and gave an order. "My lords, time waits for no one. I must get to work now. Have the engineers bring in the bronze mirror-gate." Its subordinate quickly replied, "Understood." The bronze mirror-gate under Min Q's command was brought out. Long AI saw this and suddenly froze. "Why use the bronze mirror-gate? High-quality eggs cannot withstand such strong pressure." Lathan quickly stepped forward to explain. "Don't worry, my lord. This was specially made by my Afu. It is completely different from the door you usually use to enter the inner world of the egg." He smirked friendly. "This door is completely harmless to the human body. You can use it with peace of mind." Although he still smiled outwardly, inwardly he was seething with anger. Lathan no longer paid attention to Long AI, but turned and ran towards it. Afu. If we use the bronze mirror-gate, does that mean the production and export location has been chosen?" Min Q demanded in a low voice. "Go quickly and help transport these high-quality eggs." He obediently followed the order. "Yes, sir." Once done, Min Q turned back to the others and suggested, "My lords, I have found a suitable place to create an exit near the wall after completing my work. The lords can directly step into the bronze mirror-gate to reach that location. That will save a lot of time." Tuo heard this and was visibly pleased, as expected of Min Q. "You are truly very thoughtful." He quickly nodded in response. "Thank you, my lord." Very soon after, under Lathan's command, the imprisoned individuals successively stepped into the bronze gate. Come on, hurry up." Tu Luen secretly transmitted a message to him. "Have you reached the point of creating an exit?" On the side, he and Yu observed and replied, Here it is. The engineer is inserting a very strange object into the wall. He asked back with a hint of surprise. Strange object, then observed carefully and described it. It's a strange creature, scaly and with a body very similar to an insect. On this side, Minkyu's subordinate was also holding an insect, examining it. Suddenly, the insect cried out when he stabbed it into the wall. It used its two horns on its head to pierce directly into the wall. Immediately after, countless electric rays shot out from its horns, spreading everywhere. The two masked figures still bowed their heads, rummaging through the suitcase, searching for something, even though they hid in a corner, secretly observing. They want to form. A triangular shape frowned beside him. That engineer kept fumbling in the chest. Is what's inside like mom? The thing inside the suitcase was kneaded by him into a strange shape. It's actually a bit similar. While staring, he transmitted a message to him. Did you find any trace of my sister along the way? He informed you of the previous situation. To Lewin, I didn't see your sister anywhere along the way. However, someone might be hidden behind the bronze mirror. His gaze immediately turned towards the giant bronze mirror in front. She must be hidden in there. He nodded silently from a corner. Okay, I understand. The atmosphere suddenly became silent. From the bronze mirror, a pair of legs slowly appeared. When he saw the person who had just appeared, then quickly ran over. Afu, there are currently a total of 23 high-quality eggs. 7 red skin lords plus Afu makes a total of 31 people. His face was filled with joyful excitement. So you want to form 31 pills, right? He took out something and gave it to Lathan. Form a few more pills. He reached out to take it. It looked like Ebola. He stared intently, asking suspiciously, is this extra part meant to be returned to us? Minkyu raised an eyebrow and asked back, Lathan, didn't I tell you? I'll be back soon. You don't need to follow me there. Outwardly, he showed no emotion, but inwardly he was cold. Lathan clenched his fist, veins bulging. You'll come back? You fundamentally don't want to take us out. Seeing him silent, it spoke. Lathan, he startled and replied, understood. We will obediently wait for your return. Minkyu was secretly pleased, nodding slightly. All right, you may go. Lathan turned his back and walked away silently. After all, we are just your lab rats. He walked away, thinking to himself, unable to replicate into true dragon humans. So to you, are we no longer useful? Whether I can get out or not, it doesn't really matter anymore. His gaze swept over the controlled crowd. But as for an HA, I only hope she can live well. Lathan approached, standing before the winding spatial gate. His eyes were fixed on the empty space ahead. Lathan slowly lifted himself into the air. He stretched out his hand, putting it inside the gate. As soon as he touched it, his hand was pulled violently inward by a terrifying suction force. Lathan frowned, trying to suppress the pain tormenting him. Witnessing that scene, the others couldn't help but feel confused. Suddenly, something emerged from inside the gate. In a flash, a brilliant orange flower suddenly bloomed. Lathan pulled out the bullet-shaped object from his body. He decisively opened the cap and poured the liquid from the bottle onto the pistol. Immediately, 3 long stamens began to grow from the pistol. All green fruits began to appear on those long stamens. Standing aside, Ewan couldn't hide their astonishment. These fruits growing on the pistol, could they be medicine? He suddenly remembered something. In Ghost Quarter, there was once such a thing. The high-ranking leaders all revered it as a divine object. He looked over, his eyes full of suspicion. Divine object, he nodded. It is said that this thing is a calamity brought out from the central area. He was stunned, his face full of surprise after hearing those words. What, a calamity? A calamity like egg nectar? Wait a minute. Could this dragon human be the human survivor who came out of the Forbidden Zone 100 years ago? Standing aside, Minkyu just stared, not saying a word, looking at the pistol and the fruits growing on it. Lathan slowly lowered himself. Immediately he turned to report. Afu, the sound frequency has been fixed. It raised a finger slightly, satisfied. You've worked hard. On the long stamens, the green fruits began to glow brightly. It's like that they flew straight towards Minkyu. He looked intently at its palm, counting. There are 33 pills in total. Secretly observed and evaluated. This thing indeed cannot be handled by the little dragon human. You nodded in reply. Kako also once said that this type of fruit is almost impossible to obtain. He frowned, secretly calculating each step. Now all that's left is to wait for the blood to quickly circulate throughout the body. His eyes suddenly shook violently. He recalled the moment he lay on the ground. Beside him stood Lathan. Are you the sister? Kako must have told you. Closed his eyes tightly and not moving. Keep playing dead. You don't need to say anything. Just listen to me. Holding the bottle in his hand, he talked to himself. In the bottle in my hand is my blood. You and your companions just need to mix it with the blood in your bodies. Pausing for a moment, Lathan looked at his face. Once it circulates throughout your bodies, your skin color will become like mine. Then I will be able to help. You retrieve the eggs and exchange them for edible eggs with everyone in the team. Returning to reality, he pressed his lips together. You on one side had wide, astonished eyes. The skin color on your face has completely changed. He turned around in a panic, saying in horror, "Brother, you too." His eyes were deep in thought. After waiting so long, the blood has finally circulated throughout the body. On the side, Lathan walked over with his hands clasped behind his back. The Fu had absorbed a bit too much of my blood. "So is the quality of the medicine okay?" It nodded. "It's acceptable." He transmitted a message. "Now, we just have to wait for the little dragon human to find an opportunity to help us blend into the team." Looking at him smiling ingratiatingly, Yu's words came out with a slight hesitation. Previously, in Ghost Quarter, there was a bounty that if traces of the dragon humans, extinct 500 years ago, were found, one could receive 1,000,000 seashells. At first, I thought it was just a fairy tale. Spoke, his voice full of emotion. I never thought I'd actually see a dragon human exist, right? He subtly moved his ear in response. It's just after mixing with its blood, can we really get the eggs back? You couldn't help but be surprised by his words. It can definitely be done. I will go out and personally kill that rotten red-skinned bastard to avenge my mother. He asked with a bit of worry. Are you sure he's outside a frown, his voice firm when mentioning him? Tu Luan said that guy left a while ago. You looked over, seemingly curious. What's his name? He shook his head. Tu Luan only described him as tall and big. After hearing that, he immediately put forward a hypothesis. What if he's still inside the wall? Hearing that, shook his head and affirmed, "No way, I trust Tu Luan. He wouldn't lie to me." Fixed his gaze on the boy in the crowd. Min-Kyu slowly stepped forward. One hand gently rested on the protective wall. With the other hand, Min-Kyu began to unleash his power. Tu Luan, mixed in the crowd, frowned slightly in thought. Is he using a different way to open and exit? He seemed to be sweating, doubtful about another method. He thought for a moment, then suddenly remembered something. According to Kako, the red-skinned person would activate it through a specialized glove. Black Egg was confused. Seeing that he still didn't understand, Tu Luan explained further. Only the red-skinned person can use it. But the little dragon human said that glove was actually skin taken from someone. Hearing that, Black Egg's mouth dropped open in surprise. Skin from someone. Sounds creepy. While the two of them were intently observing, Lathan suddenly appeared behind them. Gentlemen, this is the best opportunity. I'm here to help you get the eggs. In front, the atmosphere suddenly became unusually quiet. The eggs on the heads of the crowd glowed, and the wall in front began to move. Min-Kyu's power had created a gate. He looked at this scene with some doubt in his heart. Is this the exit? After everything was done, it turned around to look behind. Everyone's mouths were open. Immediately after, Min-Kyu snapped his fingers, and the fruits that had grown earlier shot out one by one. It flew straight in front of him. Everyone's mouths opened again. Tu Luan didn't know its intention, so he also opened his mouth. The growing fruits began to enter his mouth. Tu Luan chewed, savoring its taste. A faint almond scent. Instantly on both sides of Min-Kyu, two black eggs appeared. They transformed into its facial shape. All right, let's go in. Everyone follow. Dong Nam was the first to step in. He followed behind, his hands clenched. Tu Nan were finally about to get outside the wall. Tu Luan heard that, his voice softly whispering. Meh. His footsteps quickly entered the gate. As soon as he stepped to the other side, Tu Luan looked around. Just like that, the crowd entered one by one, following the black egg in front. The black egg on his head was also sweating profusely. Is this inside the wall? Tu Nan. This is the first time I can't distinguish the border. Tu Luan doubted. Is this place that best? Black Egg pondered for a moment, then shook his head and explained. I don't understand either. This place is like a space composed of small dots of life. There are no borders at all. Hearing Black Egg's words, Tu Luan asked in confusion. All dots of life? It's like that. Both of them silently entered that vast space. Returning to the outside, everything was unusually quiet. From inside the mirror, Long AI emerged with a gloomy expression. It looked intently, then opened its mouth and said, All right, all the lords have arrived. Take the medicine and go in. He looked at the giant suitcase, his eyes full of questions. Min-Kyu, what is your luggage for? It smiled, batting the suitcase. As some of my research results. Long AI frowned, showing interest. Can you share a little? Min-Kyu chose his words carefully to politely decline without offending. My lord, of course, it's possible. It's just that time is urgent. If it's too late, can we explain the situation to the king tomorrow? He's just curious. The main task is more important. Let's go in, Long AI. The main task is more important. Let's go in, Long AI. Long AI hummed and led his group inside. He carried the suitcase, not forgetting to turn back and instruct him. Lathan, wait patiently for me to return. He nodded. Watching Minkyu's retreating back, Lathan's spirits fell. LNHA, I'm not here anymore. You must take good care of yourself. When they all entered, the gate twisted violently. It slowly faded from his sight. Suddenly, a strange object flew past Lathan's head. He frowned, his eyes following it. The object grew larger, its shape so blurry it was indistinguishable. Lathan's eyes widened, his mouth agape in surprise. What is that? The scene returned to inside the gate. He walked steadily, rhythmically. On AI, people followed behind, chattering excitedly. After this life egg is reestablished, who knows how many more years it will take to give birth to new life. That's right, but isn't the king trying to breed them on the colonial star lately? But there's still no effect. After a short while, they reached the last gate. Tunan, we've finally gone through the entire inside of the wall. Through this exit, we will successfully get outside the wall. That's great. Everyone can leave successfully. As soon as he finished speaking, he quickly stepped out. Minkyu was stunned the moment he stepped out, unable to believe it. No way, this really can't be happening. He looked around, shouted loudly. Why isn't this outside the wall? He suddenly appeared right in front of everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the central area of the iOS life creation system. Seeing their bewildered faces, Minkyu smiled slightly. Now feel free to enjoy the feast I've prepared for all of you. Long AI people rushed out of the gate. Long AI roared as soon as he stepped out. What exactly is going on? Minkyu, he stammered. We've been forcibly led into the central domain by him. He was utterly terrified. What? Minkyu opened his third eye wide, smiling faintly. Invading species from outside. I also invited you all to enjoy this lavish slaughter feast. Long AI regained his composure, sneering coldly. What feast you'd have first? As soon as he finished speaking, he spread his wings and lunged forward to attack. Long AI move was suddenly reflected. He stared, his mouth agape in astonishment. The attack has been destroyed. Rend approached, his face terrified, pointing his hand. Long AI, your wings are melting. He looked back in horror. His wings had completely disappeared. Long AI clutched his body, screaming in pain. Minkyu looked at his painful state, laughing with amusement. The pain sensation of your species from outside is truly slow. All right, your opponent is not me. His next words made them even more confused. But for everyone to truly understand their own situation. The feast will officially begin in 15 minutes. Tu Luen had been standing still, observing. After 15 minutes, Minkyu paused for a moment, a dangerous smile on his face. Of course, this feast is not only happening here, but throughout the entire life creation system, it officially begins. Both he and it were bewildered upon hearing that. They want to destroy all living beings in the life egg? Seeing that they still hadn't made any moves, he shouted. Don't just stand there. Make good use of these 15 minutes. Run if you want, hide if you want. It's up to you. Minkyu, can the entrance and exit be recreated? It slowly turned, its expression profound. Do you think in front of the monsters of the central domain? Is this possible? Hearing it say that, he smiled with satisfaction. Minkyu, this time you seem to have become smarter in thinking about problems. Their eyes widened. What? Minkyu. You know it? It didn't speak, just bowed its head in silence. He gradually lost patience, interrupting them. All right, I won't delay your time any longer. Make good use of these 15 minutes. I'll observe this lavish feast. See you again. No, you have to survive to meet again. He completely vanished, only his laughter echoing in their ears. His body trembled, he gritted his teeth and cursed. Damn it, how did things turn out like this? Long AI panicked. What exactly is going on? Have you ever been to the central region? It didn't answer the question, only left one sentence. Take care of yourselves, my lords. In anger, he clenched his fists, roaring. What did you say? Ren looked around. Forget him. Don't we have gloves? Let's create our own entrance and exit. After hearing that, Long AI turned and left. That's right, let's go. Minkyu still stood there, motionless. His people quickly stepped in, running back the way they came. They ignored the other people who were fleeing. Even though it had turned into an egg, it spoke. You must have seen the red-skinned person kill your mother with your own eyes, right? He widened his eyes in surprise, speaking in disbelief. What? Zero. What are you talking about? He offered his speculation. Tu Luen lied to you. That red-skinned person is named Long AI, among those 7 red-skinned people. But still didn't believe it. You are the fake Dongnam, the copycat, aren't you? Hearing that, you just left mockingly. No wonder I always had a strange sense of distance on this road. But it seems you've made a mistake. He spoke the words he had kept hidden for so long. I am just a parasite in the copycat's head. I am still at 0. He frowned, his mouth agape as he asked back, "What you mean Dong Nam is a copycat?" Yu nodded as he had realized this before. "That's right, I've always been looking for copycats, with the purpose of having my brain parasitize them. As long as there's any connection to a copycat, I'll find every way to exploit her." Meanwhile, Min-Kyu ran as fast as the wind, always staying close to it, not leaving its side for a step. Cooperate. Suddenly, the black egg on his head turned pitch black. It cried out in panic, but no one answered. "Tunan, what do we do now? I can't move. Are we trapped here?" "Tunan, answer me quickly. Tunan." Tuluan remained motionless, showing no reaction at all. The controlled people also stood still, motionless like statues. The egg on his head suddenly glowed brightly. Immediately after, returned to his original form. Yu saw him rushing away and called out, "Why are you in such a hurry? That person hasn't gone far yet." I didn't care at all. "Forget him. I need to ask Tuluan what exactly is going on." "Did he deceive me?" "Deceive you?" He didn't listen any further, rushing into the gate. As soon as he stepped out, he saw Kako approaching. "Tuluan, what's wrong with you?" It saw the two of them and joyfully recounted everything. "Kako Tayunan. He's no longer reacting." He asked what exactly happened. The black egg began to recount what had just happened. Tayunan wanted to take advantage of the egg person's clone, to seize a container holding his sister. Unexpectedly, before he could even touch it, he had already turned into the stay. He no longer showed any reaction at all. After hearing that, her expression immediately changed. "Let's not stand here discussing anymore. Let's leave here first, then talk." With that, went over, picked him up, and ran off. "Let's go." Inside the gate, he looked straight ahead. His empty, soulless eyes glanced around. Immediately, Dean rushed away. He quickly arrived at the gate, stepped in without hesitation, and then went outside. Dean looked around blankly, not a soul in sight. The ecosystem here is changing every hour, every moment. It's completely different from when we first arrived. It tilted its head, asking with a bit of uncertainty. "Are you sure?" he replied. "Luke, can you distinguish the location?" It began to explain clearly to Dean. "As long as young Master Longmin's body remains, I can distinguish it." Hearing that, he somewhat understood and nodded. "All right, we must quickly find Longmin's body, regain our inner self, leave this life egg, and return to our world." Luke immediately scanned the surroundings and quickly moved forward. In this way, he nodded and followed. The scene changed, revealing a gloomy forest. His group was hiding in a tree hollow. Checked Tuluan's body, frowning as he spoke. "How strange, the external thing has vanished. Why is Tuluan still so lifeless?" The black egg mumbled loud enough for everyone to hear. "Clearly I'm fine, so why is Tuluan still like this?" Suddenly, she stepped forward and grabbed his wrist. He looked at this action, his face full of doubt. "Kako, what are you doing?" She said nothing, immediately cut a wound on Tuluan's hand. Blood flowed, but he didn't utter a single cry. He didn't even feel any pain. He was furious, forcefully pushing Kako's hand away. He clenched his hand, scolding her. "You rotten woman, you've hurt him again." Kako ignored him, just turned and said, "The situation is very urgent now. I'm afraid his life might not be left either." Heard this, and not only did he not feel guilty, but he also shouted loudly, "Even so, you shouldn't hurt him." Yu sat in a corner, vigilantly turning to look at him. "Now is not the time to lose your temper." He gritted his teeth, interrupting. "Fine, I'll take him. You can go wherever you want." She frowned. "I didn't think so at all." Seeing that the two of them still wouldn't be quiet, he shouted, "Enough. Is this the time to argue?" Kako stood up straight, looking directly into his eyes. "I'm telling you this up front. If my life is threatened, I will only look out for myself." Sorted coldly. Suddenly, Yu warned with a worried expression, "There's movement outside. Don't make a sound." All three tensed up simultaneously, looking into the distance. In the distance, they heard the clanging of iron chains. Within everyone's sight, a dark egg appeared, dragging a large chest. The video ends here. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button to support Gao. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.